Here is your podcast.
You know, I've been doing this show 9 years. In the beginning, it was great. I got to show up and just talk and leave. That was fantastic. But now Mex sends me this theme song, tells me to put my own voice in it. Lily shows up. She doesn't produce a goddamn thing. All she does is laugh, turn around, and go home. The only thing I don't wind up doing for this show is listen to it. That's your fucking job. Hey, what's happening, Mike Schmidt's 40-Year-Old Boy podcast? If you have a question, here, I'm going to ask you this question, folks. Well, if you ever have this question, you're going to ask it. I got the answer for you, is my point. If you're ever saying to yourself, hey, how come all these lights are on? The answer to that is because I can't see. That's what I just found out. Because it's the afternoon here at Lily's house. And I'll tell you what, it's gray outside. It's gloomy and gray. It's a gloomy gray gus of a day. Apparently I'm on Sesame Street. It's gloomy. It's gray. It's a gloomy gray gus of a day. Hi, I'm writing Rainy Rent. So did it rain in Rent? I didn't see Rent. I have no idea. That's just like literally a bunch of gay. It's about Stonewall, right? Isn't Rent about Stonewall? It is. It's just a bunch of gay dudes live in a hotel, and the cops storm in and they beat everybody up. And then Anthony Rapp comes out and sings a song, and everybody's happy. That's what Rent's about. I don't know anything about musicals. It's most of them are about gay dudes living in an apartment, though, right? I saw The Boys in the Band. I saw fucking Rent. The Boys in the Band is not a musical, though. I don't think really, except for that part where Matthew Modine breaks out in a song. No, actually, that's he's not in The Boys in the Band. He's in the Boys on the what the fuck is that? The one I was in, where I was the extra and I walked back and forth. The one about the discovery of AIDS, the history of AIDS. No. That's about, look, get your AIDS movies right. Philadelphia is about one dude with AIDS, but the movie I'm talking about is like everybody with AIDS. It's about patient zero and where AIDS showed up and everybody who looked like Freddie Mercury was sucking everybody off in the park and then everybody got sick. What movie is that? Again, then Matthew Modine works at like the lab. Now I know you're thinking home. Everybody's like, that's Stranger Things. No. Zero. Yeah, but it's not called Patient Zero. It was an HBO fucking, you're going to look it up? It's an HBO miniseries about AIDS. I think it was called AIDS with an exclamation point, if I remember correctly. I think, actually that was what Rent was originally called when they wrote Rent. They were like, hey, we need to write a different one to get people to come to this.
It was Matthew Modine?
Matthew Modine is in a miniseries on HBO about the discovery of AIDS, the history of AIDS, the fun and frolic of AIDS. It was about a bunch of gay dudes who all lived in an apartment, and then they wound up going to Atlanta and the Center for Disease Control. And the band played on. See, I said Boys in the Band. Oh man, what's it like? She likes. Well, I'll tell you what. She likes the Boys in the Band. I can tell you that. She says that I'm her all-time favorite. When I make my move to her room, it's the right time. She's never hard to please, folks. Oh yeah. But then she winds up at the Center for Disease Control. The girl's a super freak. They had to take a sample of her blood and her fluids. I really like to taste her every time she gets a checkup. All right, so she's all right. She's all right. She's all right with me. Yeah. Hey. You don't often get that. Look, what other show can you go to right now and get the spoken words of Super Freak put in the context of testing the patient zero for AIDS? And I call them the patient zero, not patient zero, because that's disrespectful. Because that's just like replacing his name. His name was Jim. He had a name, goddammit. The first guy who got AIDS had a name. His name was Jim. It's not Jim? Or I shouldn't say his name.
Read the recent story about the fact that the guy who was named Patient Zero, which really wasn't supposed to be Patient Zero, it was an O.
Yeah, that was my point.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't really Patient Zero.
No, there was AIDS all over the joint, but they just decided to hang it on that dude because he owed the guy at the CDC some money. They were like, that dude owes me $48. He's the fucking AIDS guy. And they're like, what do you mean? We're making him patient zero forever. That guy is, you know what? That guy wasn't even gay. That guy, like, literally, he just lost. No, he was like down some money. He had been betting on some basketball and he owed $48 to one of his fellow coworkers at the CDC. And they were like, fuck it. We're hanging this worldwide pandemic on fucking Jim from research because he owes me $48. Because he went to him and he said, hey, Jim, you got that $48 you owe me? I mean, the Hawks took it in the ass last night. He goes, yeah, you got to float me, man. He goes, well, look. I floated you on the $24, and then you doubled it or nothing last night. Now, you thought Neek was going to go to work, but he didn't. And so they wind up losing to the Celtics, and you owe me this $48. Cough it up, man. And he's like, I'd love to, but I don't have the money. He goes, if you don't pay me, not only am I going to tell everybody you're a deadbeat, but I'm going to tell the world that you're responsible for a worldwide pandemic that will continue even to the year 2017 when podcasting, which you don't even know what it is, has been invented yet, and they will talk about it on there. And they'll mention your name, Jim, for the $48 that you haven't paid me. And Jim's just like, fuck, man, it seems like an over-aggressive reaction, but do what you got to do. I don't have the $48. So here we are today, folks, talking about Jim from Research, who owed $48 because fucking Tree Rollins missed a dunk at the buzzer and the Hawks lost, so he couldn't come up with the $48, and now he is patient zero. Fuck that. Terrible. It's a terrible thing that happened to Jim. And yet I dragged him over the coals myself.
I don't think you understand any of this.
I was in the movie. What are you talking about? I saw the whole thing unfold before my very eyes as I walked back and forth in front of a doorway. I went back and forth and back and forth. I was like the bullet in the Zapruder film. That's how I went. I showed up on set. They're like, dude, I said, what am I doing? And they said, well, dude, you're like the bullet in the Zapruder film. I go back and to the left. Yeah, but then back to the right. So you're like the magic bullet also. So it's like, I guess it's kind of the same, but you're like a lot of bullets. Just walk back and forth and we fucking say so. And I did, as Matthew Modine talked to a woman in a bookstore, whatever the fuck he did. You can see me walking like Hanna-Barbera in the back. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I look like Uncle Buck who can't decide how to leave a school.
Can someone please pull that shot and put that on the internet?
I don't even know if I made it in. It's got to be in there, right? Just look for, literally, remember the Hitchcock show where he'd walk up and there was the silhouette? Just look for a giant silhouette. See, that's why they didn't use it. Because in the background, you could see me walking, but at the time I was crazy fat. So they were like, is there a monster approaching the bookstore? We have to lose that background shot. No, that fat dude who went back. It looks like a Volkswagen's going to drive through the window. We got to fucking cash this in. We can't. People have to focus on Modine talking about Jim from Research. We can't have them thinking that somehow that blueberry from Willy Wonka is going to roll through the fucking door. Because I'm fat and getting fatter every day. Oh, it's brutal. It's frightening. So anyway, if you're home, it's weird how my brain works.
Really?
Well, just there I went because anyway, I said a couple of things at once. You know, man, I listen to other podcasts. I'm going to talk about this shit. Why the fuck not? One time, Jill and I are in the car, and I shouldn't probably say this, but I will because why not? Because nobody fucking knows who I am anyway. I was listening to a podcast. Well, fuck, I'm not going to say who it is because again, I can't do that. I know you guys are like scorched earth, and I'm like, look, I can do that to Jim from Research because I don't need to get a job at the CDC. I can't do that to comedian people because then everybody's like, what the fuck? You, Schmidt, you're never going to work in this town again. I'm way ahead of you. Good try.
I like that you think that matters.
What, that I'm not going to work in this town again?
No, that you're not going to name him. Like it really is. You're like, there's that 0.0000001%. I'm not risking it.
You know what? You'd be fucking shocked. How many times I hear from people. Like it's fun, you know, I have to share this. I have to share this just because it made me laugh and it has nothing to do with this. But yesterday was Paul Gilmartin's birthday. So I wrote him, like, I keep trying to get on other podcasts, you know what I mean? Like trying to pitch myself to other shows. So this week there was a guy named Jonah Carey and he's a baseball dude and he's had Pardo on his show and stuff. And I think I'd do good on that show. So he tweeted, I'm at the fuck it part of podcasts where you know someone will absolutely say no, but you ask them to be on anyway. Like he's that's the guests he's looking at. And so I tweeted at him and I wrote because then Jesse Thorne wrote, well, you had me on anything could happen. And Jonah was like, absolutely. So then I tweeted them both and I said, it's funny, I'm at that phase with myself trying to get myself booked on podcasts. And I wrote Jesse Thorne, Jimmy Pardo, a little help here, like so they could refer me to Jonah.
Yeah.
I hate doing that. I hate trying to get.
But it was funny though.
I thought it was.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, hey, I'm, you know.
And then Jesse wrote me and he goes, "You got it. I'll email you. You're on in February." So he's gonna. I guess he's going to book me. He hasn't emailed me yet. It might have been just theater for Twitter, which is great. I'd love to do Jesse's show, but Jonah did not answer. But then I have to follow up and write Jonah. What I meant, Jonah, was that I'm trying to get on your show. Whatever the fuck. Who cares? But that's the thing is I don't like pitching myself to be on shows. That was the whole point of the thing. Yeah,
so
but
just write him.
Yes, well, you would think
Everybody
that.
write him.
No, don't fucking do that. And it's just a baseball podcast. I'm going to go talk about Kari Yastrzemski for an hour. You folks don't want to fucking hear that. Because every time I do a show where it's like a sports show or anything like that, because there are fucking awesome people who are like, they want to hear this, but then there are people who are just like, I can't, dude, that time you were talking about movies, it sucked. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean? And then there are nice people who are like, well, you should only talk about movies. I don't want to hear anybody else. Or when you talk, and I'm like, shut up. You get that this week.
Thanks for the feedback.
Don't you want me to talk to other people at some point? Certainly. Get me out of this fucking hermetically sealed environment where the lights are all on. Fuck.
Why does it bother you that all the lights are on?
I don't like lights.
I made sure my cursor was fixed for you this week.
I know I looked. I just don't like lights. I don't like lights in the daytime. They should not be on in the daytime, even though it's a gloomy gray of a day.
If the lights aren't
Yeah, okay, you're going to turn them off? Awesome.
Yeah.
But
no.
now that's on.
Yeah. That's not on. That's a skylight, dickhead. I can't turn that
Oh,
off.
Jesus, turn the lights off. My favorite Keith Urban song, by the way. Jesus, turn the lights off. Bing, ding, 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 ding. Da do, da do, da do, little do, 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 do. Hit that switch.
I love when he does PSAs.
No, that was, what are you talking about? That was a song.
No, it was a PSA.
No, that's Keith Urban's song. Jesus, turn the lights off. Ding, 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 ding. Bing, ding, 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 ding. Hit that switch. That's the song. That's the chorus. That's totally it. Because Keith Urban's like, didn't you hear how good a guitarist he is? Jesus, turn the lights off. And ding, 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 ding. Bing, ding, 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 ding. Hit that switch. That's perfect. That's a great
I don't
song.
know that, but his guitar's a banjo.
Max, do me a favor, record that this week. Go ahead, record that. See, I should be doing the music too, right? It saved Max some bird.
Just write the words and send it to him for a cover.
Jesus, turn the lights off. Ding, 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 ding. Ba, ding, 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 ba, ding, 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 ba, ding, ding. Hit that switch. Come on, that's perfect. That's a great song. All right. So anyway, the lights are all fucking on in this house, and I hate it. God damn it. Because lights shouldn't be on during the day. Oh, so I started to get myself booked on podcasts, right? So I always think about, and of course I have my friends who I have to fucking pimp out, and like when Jimmy asked me to do Never Not Funny a couple of months ago, I was very happy. Because again, I would never go to them and go, please, sir. It's because it's the Oliver Twist scenario, and I'm like, fuck that.
It's really hard to ask people for help when you're talented and you deserve it.
I don't deserve anything, but you hope you'd be able to do things, but you also want to be noticed. You want people to see you and go, hey, let's scoop that dude up in our talent net and throw him out in front of everybody and see if he sinks or swims. I think I've just described The Voice. Possibly, or American Idol. I don't want to do any of those things.
A few minutes ago, you were in a car with Jill.
Was
and
I?
now you're tweeting to people.
I don't think I was.
Yeah, you were in a car with Jill listening to a podcast with two people on it. That were
Oh, yeah. But first, let me get at this. I try to pitch myself to shows, and I've been turned down by some shows. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to pitch myself to shows where I'm just like, hey man, I'd be funny. And then there's like, fuck, no, don't think so. And they're nice. Nobody's mean, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you're just kind of like, you go, yeah, that hurt. You know what I mean? Because it's a personal rejection, certainly. And look, if I'm rejected by show business, I get it. That's a mean, faceless entity that's just like essentially walking outside and a mugger punches you in the face. You can't yell at it because you don't know who the fuck it was. It was some shady guy in a ninja outfit and he punched you and he ran. Fine. But if it's somebody you kind of know and you're like, hey, I'd really like to do this. And they go, nah, probably not a fit. I'm like, oh man, I've had a sandwich with you. If you don't think I'm a fit for this, that kind of blows. You and I have broken soup together. That seems weird. We didn't break any soup. I was going to say we shared a sandwich. Then I wanted to say we broke bread together. But then I thought soup and sandwich. Again, my brain works fucking weird. God, I don't ever want to break soup. That would be terrible. Oh my God, I ate soup yesterday. Such good soup. My brother made soup for New Year's. I guess it's good luck soup, whatever the fuck. But man, that is one soggy fortune. That is one soggy fortune you find in that soup. No, it's like, because you eat black-eyed peas and Hoppin' John and a deer, like whatever the fuck you eat during the day. Yeah, on New Year's Day, you eat some weird shit, and it's like, yay, good luck. So I was like, what the fuck have I got to lose? Seriously, at this point, you say that soup's going to fix everything? Rub it on me like a salve. Let's do it. Let's eat some good luck fucking soup. So he made it at his house. I went to see my nieces and my brother on New Year's Day. No, day after New Year's Day, because New Year's Day was a Sunday, and never on Sunday. I never never see family and eat soup on a Sunday. I never break soup on a Sunday. That's got to be the name of the show, right? I never break soup on a Sunday. You know what? I'm tired of names of the show with I in them. So I know you don't give a fuck, but if you could kind of think and listen for phrases.
I sent you all the names last week because we talked about this, and the week before that.
Right. So again,
my shit. I'm listening.
No, I'm telling you to get back in. Well, you don't have a legal pad or anything now, so it's like again, you're going to lose fact.
This now.
Well, your phone. Yes. Yeah, is that why you need the lights on? Fucking lights are on. God damn it, I hate it. Lily, I had a fight before I got in the air, and I did that thing. You remember a couple weeks ago? We had a fight.
You had a fight.
We had a fight.
I didn't have a fight.
You were involved in that fight.
No, you had a fight. I just sat here talking.
Dude, I said some funny shit, and Lily's like, "You can't say that in the air." I'm like, "God damn it, don't do this to me," because I don't want any funny to ever go into the ether and just disappear. I need to bring all of my funny here and channel it into the microphone so you guys can bang it around into your ears if you have the iPod vagina. And she's like, "Don't," and I was like, "Fine." So I'm used to pitching myself to get on podcasts, right? I want to do this. I'm not used to it. I hate it because, again, like I said, I've been turned down, and then you just kind of go, that feels kind of squishy. I don't care for that.
Why are you in an industry that you constantly have to audition for?
Because what the fuck else am I going to do? Literally, if I was, you know what? If I'm a plumber, I still got to put out a thing that says, "Hi, I'm Mike. I plumb." I mean, fucking, that's what people want to do.
No, you don't. You go to work for somebody who plumbs.
Grim, terrible, awful. Then I'm not. So you're saying I do this and make a choice to not be my own boss and let my own destiny be handled by fucking Joe the plumber? I don't think so.
I think it's adorable that you think you're your own boss.
I totally am my own boss. Well, no, these people are my boss right now, and they want to fire me. They can. I don't give a fuck. But I'm saying is I'm trying to get myself on all these other fucking shows and do stuff. Well, you just fucking. You totally just said like everybody's gonna fire me, and it's like, well, whatever, that's fine. If they don't like me, that they can get rid of me. I don't even know why they've listened this fucking long.
But again, how is not listening to you firing you?
Because this is my job, and if you choose, fuck it, I'm cutting them loose, then you fire me.
No, you work for other people. They didn't fire you.
Yeah, I work for them. So then if anybody who leaves this show is firing me, they're totally taken off. And it's like without the fucking ceremony, I didn't have to go sit in a room and get, and get examined.
Oh my God, you think about things weird.
If people bail on the fucking show, they're firing me because this is literally my job. So it's like, hey, and they're the bosses. So if someone goes, you know what, I'm cutting that dude loose, they're cutting me loose. They're firing me. No severance pay, no fucking back pay. Gone.
Jordans. You fired
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, shoes.
Done. Yeah, I fired Nike. But there are other Nikes. I mean, I have Nikes. I see that's a weird. No, that's bullshit because I still use Nike. I was, if I can buy Air Jordans, I will because they're affordable. When I can buy them, but I can't buy the fucking $800 Jordans because there's just so much fucking money. But it doesn't mean I fired Michael Jordan. That's a bad way to put it. This is a direct. Jordan did make those shoes. Okay.
Okay.
So I fired thousands of Chinese infants.
Nikes?
Huh?
If you stopped eating at McDonald's, you fired McDonald's.
Yes, done, gone, fired. Cut them loose, finished.
You are weird.
What are you talking about? That's totally firing them. I'm their boss. I'm totally McDonald's boss. If I walk in and I'm like, ha ha ha, give me 5 breakfast burritos and 2 quarter pounders, and they're just like, what if a guy said no? I'd walk the fuck out. You're fired. Why is that a hard concept to understand?
Because it's something you consume and pay for.
Yes.
It's not like you fire something.
So if I choose not to pay for it anymore, I'm firing them. Goodbye.
Okay.
Thank you. How is that hard to understand?
You're weird.
So these people, if they cut me loose, they fire me. Because again, this is a representation of me. So it's like that. Because that's all this is me. I'm literally handing you me. And if you go, I don't care for that anymore, I'm fired. I don't want to be fired.
So if people meet you and they don't call you again and be your friend, they fired you as a potential friend.
As a person, yes.
You have some really weird abandonment and rejection.
That's
issues.
incorrect. That's totally true. I don't understand why it's so hard to see that. You're so odd. So I try to get myself in these shows. I keep kind of pitching myself, and it's fucking bananas to try to pitch myself. But I will say this again. I've listened to some comedy shows that are ostensibly about comedy or involve people who do comedy for a living or might be comedians. And I'm not going to say which shows they are. All right, I will say one. The 40-year-old boy. So anyway, that guy is fucking bananas. I got to fire that dude immediately. But I've heard shows and I go, I listen and there's like, and look, maybe it's my fault that I don't want any dead air at all on the show. And I'm kind of, I guess, perked up a little bit on the show. I mean, a little more amped up than I am in real life, but I can be like this in real life sometimes. I did it the other night when I was driving. This is fucking hysterical. My life is faded. Last week was a bad week. I don't know what the fuck happened. I gave up last week. I could not. Here, I'll tell you this funny story. All right, I'm all over the place. Let me say this first. Remember where we're going, okay?
I'm trying, but
okay.
You're making it very hard to do.
Don't be that person.
Manic day.
I just want to say this because it made me laugh. It was Paul Gilmartin's birthday yesterday. And like I said, I keep trying to get myself on other shows, and I keep waiting for Paul to ask me to do like a second one of his shows, even though his show is not the show you want to do twice.
his mental illness?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
So I thought maybe there's a way to get me in there and talk about recovery or talk about maybe rallying. Because I did a show like 4 years ago. I don't remember what the fuck it was. But he's had other people on. I know this. He's had people on a couple of times. And in my head, I'm always like, oh man, I could do a show a second time. But then also in the same breath, I'm like, and if you're doing that show twice, you are fucking ruined as a person. Like, who the fuck are you? You're not going to believe this is happening again. I'm back eating glass. You know what I mean? It's like those people. So, I'm like, I could get on there and be funny and entertaining, but also, I don't know, interesting and poignant. I don't know. I don't no fucking idea. But I always want to say to Paul sometimes like, hey man, I could do Mental Illness Happy Hour again. But then I'm like, I can't fucking do his show again. Cause again, it just seals the fact that I'm fucking really bananas and nothing's changed. So I wrote him a happy birthday text yesterday. And I said, happy birthday, Paul. I hope you had the best day Although, knowing you, I'm sure you spent most of it listening to a Tanzanian recount being... Fuck, I blew it. God damn it.
Edit it.
No, I can't edit it. I got to say, I just got to, because I got to one take it. Hey, Paul, happy birthday. I hope it was your best day, ... Although, knowing you, I'm sure you spent most of it hearing a Tanzanian national tearfully recount being raped by a shoe. Or with a shoe. Fuck. Raped with a shoe. Because I had the debate of logic in my head when I was typing it. I go, not raped by a shoe, because that makes it sound like a sentient shoe jammed itself up inside this person. But raped with a shoe, that's even more horrifying, because it's like a bunch of soldiers just went, we got anything left in there? What else can we put in this person's vagina? I don't know, I got a shoe. Done. Give me the shoe. They play, you know what they play? They play the plate spinning music when they fuck you with a shoe. If you're ever being raped by footwear in another country by some sinister cabal of servicemen, listen for, or even better, go this route. If you're ever in another country and you hear, get the fuck out of there immediately. Because somebody is about to get raped with a shoe.
I want to know what he replied with.
He just, honestly, he was like, ha, thanks, Schmitty, smiley face. He should have put up a shoe. Like, is there a shoe emoji?
There is.
God damn it, why do you not put that?
Why don't you send it?
Just like a shoe and a peach. Just send that fucking thing. That's why I'm creating new emojis for getting raped with a
That
shoe.
should be the name of the show.
What, a shoe and a peach?
Shoe and a peach.
See, I can't have ones that have I anymore. I think we've had like 6 this year.
You should just start naming the show with it.
Well, you're the boss. You got to figure those things out. Happy birthday, Paul. I hope it's your best day. Although, knowing you, I'm sure you spent most of it hearing a Tanzanian national tearfully recount being raped with a shoe. Fuck. Oh, God, I'm great. All right, so. But see, that's the kind of humor you get if you have me on your podcast, folks, as a guest. Like I said, Bert Kreischer told Graham Elwood, he's like, hey, I want to know more about this Mike Schmidt guy. So then on Twitter, I'm like, hey, Bert, I'm right here. And he's like, hey, I like that tweet. Never heard from him at all because he's busy doing things, and that's fine. And then other people who are very nice. You know, there are listeners who are like, hey, Ari Shafir, you should have Mike Schmidt on This Is Not Happening, which is a storytelling show. Or, hey, Joe Rogan, you should have Mike Schmidt on your show. And all of these guys at their big podcast meetings are like, are you getting emails from these pesky people about this dude? And they're like, yep. And he's like, they're fired. And then they cut them loose. So what was I going to talk about? What was the other thing? We were going somewhere else.
In a car with you and
Well, I've talked about that, about how I listened to the show. No. There was some other thing we were going to talk about. And I said before I go off on the Go Martin thing, it was something else. You didn't remember?
Just Jill in the car.
No. I was going on a different.
That was the only thing that you told me to remember, and I did.
God damn it!
Don't yell at me.
If you had a legal pad, you could take the fucking notes, but you don't.
That was what you told me to remember.
No, you that was the thing you kept shoehorning in, hoping I would get back to. But I said, there's something else you remember this. And you went, it's Manic Day, haha. And you made your joke and you forgot what I was going to do.
It is Manic Day, though.
I don't think it's Manic Day at all. So I listen to these shows, man, and everybody breathes. Like, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why is everybody breathing on these shows? Fuck, there's jokes to be told, man. You can't be breathing. You got to shove everything you possibly can in there. You got to kitchen sink the shit out of these people, or they're going to fire you. That's exactly how I feel about it. I want to call their podcast as they luxuriate in their tea and cigars and they tell jokes in bon mot.
Are they all stoned?
I don't know about all
I
that.
think they are.
I wouldn't know.
I don't know about you, but have you noticed the amount of people high all the time and how slow things have become?
Yes, because I drive them fucking everywhere. I don't know if you know this.
Oh my god.
I picked this dude up the other day. All right, I'll tell this whole story. So the other night, this last week, I did fucking nothing. That's what I was going to say. Boom. Look at you bringing it back. I had a fucking terrible week. I just couldn't drive, man. I could not get out of my house. Like I was just dead in the water. I'd start to go out to drive and then I'd be like, I'm miserable. I have to go in and hide. I don't know why. It's funny. Well, all right. Here it was. This is totally true. We launched the YouTube station last week, right? The YouTube channel. So, Gio is going to start putting up episodes, and there's all this stuff where I'm coordinating, and they're getting artwork from Dave, and we're getting the whole thing launched. And then we launched it last week. Now I said I'm going to do an Instagram and a Snapchat and an intro video. I did none of those things because I launched the show, but here's why. Again, because this is who I am as a fucking guy. I launched it, okay, and people started to subscribe, and I can see people are subscribing to me on YouTube. And I'll tell you right now, please subscribe, and you'll hear why in a second. Because, you know, if they watch shows, it generates revenue. So I get a text from Gio, and he's just like, dude, he goes, your revenue went crazy. He goes, you went from like 3 cents to $1.84 in like 2 days. And Gio heard that you've just made a massive jump just from talking about it on the show. These people subscribed and all these people are listening. And I heard $1.84? This whole thing's a fucking failure.
One day.
Yes.
Of course you did.
And so
everything's black and white with you.
So he's like, well, you know, you talked about it on the show and look what just happened. He goes, once you do all this, the Instagram and all, and I'm just like, I'm not doing any of that shit. This is embarrassing. I made $1.84. I'm going to go and tell people, hey, you know, I'd really like to make $2.16 instead of $1.84. Could you please go ahead and subscribe to my channel? I've just felt like any Instagram thing I would have done at that point would have been a fucking a lie. Hey, man, I'm really excited about the YouTube channel. I've made $1.84. You have no idea the streaming money that's coming in. So I write him and I just go, I'm like, $1.84? You got to be fucking kidding me or whatever I said. I'm like, that sounds horrible, but I guess I'm supposed to trust you that it's okay? And he goes, that is a massive jump in a day. Yes. And all you did was talk about it on the air. He goes, soon it's going to be hundreds and then thousands. As soon as you get people, he goes, once you start doing other shows, and I'm like, fuck. That's the whole point. I tried to do other shows and I got fired from everybody. They don't want me on there, God damn it. He's like, once you get the word out and you start Instagramming and Snapchatting and getting people on board, he goes, you know, you have so many listeners. If they just subscribed and listened to a few, it would help because you really got to kind of push that this week. And I'm like, I can't in good conscience tell people to go listen to shit that made me $1.84. That's fucking awful.
Really?
Yeah, it just seems bad.
But it starts with $1.84. Then it's $2.16. Then it's $4. You don't sell $1 million the first time.
Why not?
Okay, do I really have to explain?
Of course you don't.
Business and supply and demand.
No,
and
but
cost and value.
But when you put
marketing again.
But when you put effort, when you think, when you hope, when you're like, all right, you know what? Because I got to stop driving. I'm like, I got to stop fucking driving. I have to stop.
Did you think that the second day you could quit?
I hoped, certainly.
Shut up.
Anybody would hope. Hey, look, I want to quit yesterday. I want to quit a fucking month ago. I just want to quit, period. I want to quit everything. I want to hide. I want to lay in my house and watch old NFL films. That's what I want to do. I watched Lombardi's Redskins. I watched the top 10 playoff finishes of all time. Fast forwarding through anything from the 90s just so I could watch stuff from the 80s. Oh, the 80s. I mean, I want to hide, man. I just want to hide from everything and everyone. But I also want to do this. I want to hide until Friday, and then I want to go fly somewhere and be funny for everybody. And then I want to be funny on Saturday, and then I'm going to come back Sunday and hide in my house again. I want to be a spy.
That's not manic depressive.
Not at all. It's going to be awesome. Are you kidding me? To fucking be able to fly out and be hilarious on a Friday and a Saturday, and then fly home and hide and spy? I want to totally spy on everybody. I love spying. Do you know how much I love spying? Like last week, my schedule's all fucking out of whack because again, I don't want to drive, but then I was at Lenny's house and he made good luck soup. That's what we were talking about. He made fucking good luck soup and then he gave me it because he went out of town. And he kind of, you know what, he fucked my schedule up, God damn it, because he had his girls in town, my lovely nieces, who I will not say their names. I don't think I'm allowed to because they're young. I didn't realize how young. Like, I mean, because look, I didn't talk to them for the first whatever fucking years of their life because their dad's a jagoff. And I'm sure, as you can tell, I had nothing to do with any of that. Totally everything he ever did. But I've told this story. Lenny lived in my apartment building when he had the girls, and then he would come over, whatever, and they would walk past my apartment and they would stare at me, like they didn't know me. I never met them. They didn't know I was their uncle. But they would literally, this girl would stop at my screen door and look in at me. Like she knew. I looked like her dad, or I couldn't figure out why. I thought it was just because I was fucking drop dead sexy. Let's fucking not. I'm awakening toddlers all over this great land of ours. I just walk around like, yeah, that's right. Just a guy who smells like fucking Enfamil and Zweeback. So... That's the name of the show. Enfamil and Zweeback. Write it down. I can't believe I just came up with Ed from Millen's Weeback out of nowhere. See, how do you not book me on your fucking show? No, you'd rather hear a Tanzanian
How?
mope around and cry about getting raped with a shoe.
Wait, hold on.
Right now, there are 20 podcasts out there going, where can we get hold of this Tanzanian?
What's the name of the show?
Ed from Millen's Weeback, possibly? Zweeback. As we back, possibly. Look, your fucking Siri can't spell. Enfamilla got right. Zweeback. Isn't that's the fucking like.
I like that it says "we back possibly."
Yes, all right.
I sent it to you.
What was I talking about? See, now you fucking, you totally went off the train.
No, the children and how he threw off your schedule.
So I go to his house for soup, like good luck soup. And he made my brother can cook his ass off. So he told me, he's like, hey, dude, we're totally having breakfast on this Monday and we're going to watch the Blackhawks hockey game. You want to come by? And I said, yeah. But the thing is, I drove on Sunday until fucking, 3 a.m. because it's been fucking dead here, man. It's so slow. And I have an arbitrary number that I want to make. And so I try to push it. And then at the end of the fucking week, I'm like chasing people and it's terrible. So I was out real late and then I texted him. I'm like, fuck, I'm never going to be there by 10, maybe 10:30. I said, is there anything I can bring? He's like, yeah, you know what? I needed like a bag of ice and some orange juice and stuff because it was a breakfast deal. And I said, great. He goes, we're making apple pancakes. He goes, if you want syrup, bring it because the girls eat honey on their pancakes. And then I'm making potatoes and eggs and, a whole fucking breakfast. And I said, and I wanted to cook something. I legitimately was like, is there anything I can bring like cooking? He goes, we're going to have plenty of food, dude. And I was like, no, because I wanted to make cornmeal mush, which has been in my fucking brain forever now, which if you don't know what that is, it's like basically polenta cakes for breakfast. Yeah. Like fucking, oh, it's so good. And I've never made it, but I have a recipe. I wanted to make it last time I was by Jill's on Thanksgiving. And I had the recipe, but we never left the house.
Why don't you ever just make yourself food?
Fuck all that. That's just for me. You know what? This is truthful. I don't want to do anything for me because there's nothing in it for me. But if I do something for somebody else, they'll look at me and tell me I'm great.
Why don't you do it for you and tell yourself you're great?
Fuck all that. Again, I understand that. And this is what I talk to her about it every week. I know. It's like, I'll say, well, I did this for this and this and this and this. And she's like, what about Mike? And I go, fuck Mike. I told you, I've said this many times in session with her. And then we laugh, and we chuckle. And I was talking to her yesterday. It was funny. We're talking. And then finally I go, is that new? And because she holds her planner when she takes notes or whatever in her lap. I go, is that new? And she goes, what? I guess. And she goes, my planner? And I go, no. She had a ring on. She had an engagement ring on. And she goes, oh, yeah. Oh, my, yes, that's new. So you got engaged over the holidays. I'm like, oh, congratulations. And then what was funny is then I go back into talking about my nonsense. And she goes, I thought you meant my planner. And she laughed. And she goes, but it is a new planner. And I was like, all right, well, that's good too. I go, but I think the other one is more important. And then I finished talking and I could see her eyes like look at me like, but that's like weird, like kind of like, do you know what I mean? Like she almost looked at me with this weird, like, how did he notice that? Why would he notice that when he's talking about him? I don't know. It just.
I think she was shocked that you noticed anything about someone else.
Yeah, I'm pretty self-involved. I don't think there's anything about
when
that.
When you're in therapy, you're not there to look at the other person.
I was.
So I think it was conscious of her to recognize that even in the middle of all of this, you looked at her and gave her a compliment. So was that leading into your people pleasing so people will be proud of you, or did you actually take a moment out of your time to focus on you, to focus on someone else in a healthy way?
She may have written all of that down. I don't know.
Probably did. I would have.
Well, I mean, as you know, because you know the story of my first therapist, we've talked about that. As she crossed her legs in front of me and dangled her tattooed ankle in my face, and I was just like, And that's all I could think about the entire time. And then she gave up therapy and gave me a script for Adderall and hid.
I never took it, which makes me very
I didn't.
sad.
I put it up on the cork board in front of me, and I was like, there you go. There's me being a champion, not fucking having a pill destroy my life.
Or help it.
Why would it help it? Please, nobody wants any
Go
pills.
back to your polenta mush.
Such disdain.
I'm telling you where you left off.
No, you're telling me to get away from talking about what I wanted to talk about there.
No,
I don't like
you
it.
wanted to talk about your polenta
You just stomped on me like Bambi versus
You
Godzilla.
told me to remind you of your cornmeal.
Like Bambi versus Godzilla, you just stomped me to the ground. You remember that?
No.
You never saw that short?
Bambi versus
You have to see Bambi versus Godzilla. Has anybody out there seen Bambi versus Godzilla?
Let's break down one.
10 people just fired me. No, fired. Click. You're fired. You know what's funny? Because people associate that with the fucking Jagoff. But Vince McMahon, I think, did that first. Vince McMahon had the Kiss My Ass Club, and then he would fire people, but he would fire people with this like ridiculously over the top, "You're fired!" Like this. I can't even do it. I don't even know. Like I can't even imagine a wrestling writers meeting. Because I would love to work for the WWE and write stuff, but I'm way too subtle. Like, cause they always just write. As a writer, I'm way too subtle. But I will say this: if you guys tune in ever and you see at some point Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns raping Seth Rollins with a shoe, guess who's on staff? So, I may get back into wrestling. I don't want to. I might. I don't know.
I think you should take up a hobby.
Well, it's funny because because there's a wrestling writers room is just so, like I said, they do all these. It's all these bad, like borderline racial jokes and dick jokes, and it's like Mad TV but with steroids. I mean, like just these awful dudes. Although I will say this, there was a fucking Mad TV ad for someone emailed it to me or Twittered it to me because they said when I said something, it made them think of that. They did a series of vignettes for Sniggers. It was like a black guy would wander into a terrible situation. They go, not going anywhere for a while, have a Sniggers. And they would unwrap yeah, exactly. It was a Mad TV sketch. You can find it on YouTube. And I watched it and I wrote the person back and I was like, Jesus, it was Giorgio. I think it was Gio. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I didn't even know this existed. Holy fuck. And I was like, I can't even imagine someone even pitching that today without getting thrown in jail.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because anytime, literally everything devolves into a goddamn slap fight, any comedy at all. I'm getting back into comedy, quote unquote, at the worst time possible. Because for some reason, the audience thinks they're a part of it now. What the fuck is that? And they can tell you what you can and can't say. Can you imagine me trying to get away with talking about fucking Jim from Research inventing AIDS over a $48 bet on an Atlanta Hawks game? You think I could possibly get away with that on stage? People would just be like, boo, boo. This is a safe space for AIDS patients. I'm like, really? So I got to be honest with you. When some guy was barebacking and he wound up getting the fucking bug, I don't think he went, I got to hide at the Laugh Factory where I'm amongst my people. There's no AIDS patient who's like, oh, Jesus, I can't wait to go to the Improv where I can be safe from ridicule. That's the thing. I told you there's this famous bit. There's a guy named Larry Reeb in Chicago. He's still doing comedy. And I think I've told this anecdote on here. If not, we did it at Never Not Funny. He's on stage one time. And again, like you and I just had a discussion about how you can't let the person win. You can't back down from your bit. You don't give them, if someone's offended, if someone pretends like they're scared or they're like, oh my gosh, you're outrageous. You can't go, well, I'm just a comedian. Haha, sorry, I'm silly. You take all your power away because then they get to judge you and that's fucking bullshit. You need to be the one in control at all times. So we just talked about a situation. I'd love to tell people that situation if I could. Can I do that?
Well, if you tell it correctly, yeah.
All right, so Lily did something fucking stupid. Anyway, here's what happened. No, Lily was at a Subway, and she was with a guy, and the guy made a joke, and I guess the cashier got upset about it, or was like...
She didn't get upset. She just kind of was like, what's really going to happen?
Yeah, and then, well, he said he was going to riot. Yeah. And he knocked over a little tiny thing on the counter, like to be silly. Funny. And
I followed up with something, and she kind of was like, these people are... passive-aggressive.
What's happening here? Are they really going to riot?
She didn't understand what was happening because she didn't get that it was a joke. And I was like, it's just a joke.
You said, we're idiots. Sorry, we're just joking around. Yes, don't ever tell them you're idiots because they're the idiot because they're not getting it. If you know you have not overtly done anything offensive, if you're just being silly, and if someone chooses to take your silliness at face value, that's on them, man. And I know that that's the wrong attitude to have these days in comedy clubs. Like I said, no, in comedy clubs it is. Because that's what I'm saying is the audience gets to now dictate to you that what's funny and what's not. They get to tell you if something you're doing is offensive or wrong.
But she felt threatened.
But you should not.
She was a young girl working behind a counter at a Subway late at night.
Yeah.
So I kind of was just like, we're just goofing around here. We want a cookie.
You came at it from a vaginal place, which is fine.
No, I came at it from a non-adversarial place because I wasn't on stage. People weren't paying me to be funny. She was just doing her fucking job, and I felt like at this point we're just bullying her.
Yeah, but you weren't bullying her. You were being silly, and she chose to kind of pull away and go, oh my God, I don't get it.
It's no different than when you hear footsteps behind you and you get scared and you turned around and you look at somebody and you think, oh, they're not threatening me.
It's so different from that.
It just was a misunderstanding.
Understood. But in my opinion, you commit to the bit and you don't fucking betray it. You can't. You don't betray the bit because she's chosen to be offended or weirded out over the fact that someone said a silly thing.
There was no one getting the bit other than the three of us.
That's all that matters. Well, you're not on stage. Like you said, so you're doing three things for yourself. You and I disagree fundamentally. All right, well, here's the story. Larry Reeb is on stage at Zanies, and he's doing a bit about a plane crash, and someone starts sobbing in the audience. And he's still talking. And Larry Reeb, you have to know who he is. He's literally if your uncle went to Chicago for 50 years, that's Larry Reeb. Because that's his stage persona is your old Uncle Lair. Here's a tip from your old Uncle Lair. He talks like this.
I've seen him.
He's been on TV, he's been on Showtime, he's been on a bunch of shows. Hey, so then these guys show up and they start saying stupid shit. You know, that's who he is. That's his voice. So he's on stage and he's talking about a plane crash and this woman starts sobbing. And then he continues to talk and then she gets up and makes it about herself and throws her hands in the air and runs out. And he starts talking and some guy's like, hey man, I hope you're happy. And Larry Reeb is like, what are you talking about? And he goes, her uncle died in a plane crash. Or no, her mom. Her mom died in a plane crash. And he goes, yeah? Let's dig her up and fuck her. Because you don't let them win. That because what's he going to do in the middle of his persona and all of that stuff? He's going to go, hey, well, you know, we're all just having fun here. I'm just teasing. I couldn't know that about her mom. I mean, because then the show's over. Yeah. Show's finished. Yes. And that guy in the audience thought he was ending the show too by going, well, you know, because again, I'm on stage. I don't know who touched you as a kid. I don't know what plane crash happened. I don't know when your aunt blew your dad and you walked in on him like in the fucking Shining in the dog mask. I don't know what the fuck happened in your life. But I'm not supposed to know those things about you. When I'm on stage, I'm doing comedy. It's not a safe space. Comedy clubs are not.
It's not a safe space.
So everybody's talking about colleges because I talked to Lenny about it. Lenny's on the road and he's like, he's doing cruise ships. And look, cruise ships are a safe space. 2 shows a week for kids. 3 shows a week or a night or whatever fuck. He does 2 shows. He does like 7 shows a week. 3 of them are kids shows. 4 of them are adult shows. And they encourage you to be blue, be whatever the fuck you want to be at those shows. But at the kids shows, you got to be squeaky fucking clean. So you know the rules. That's fine. That's a safe space. I totally understand that. But in a regular comedy club, you got to walk in and get prepared to either get hit with a pie in the face or a fucking mallet. Either one of those is going to happen. You have to give the comedian freedom and space to do what the fuck he does, and you're trusting him to take you wherever he's going to take you. Now, look, some guys are better at it than others. You know, I don't have the chops to take you places. I'm dragging you places. All right, I'll be truly honest with you. That's one of the reasons I like to play to people who know who I am and what I'm going to do, because they're willing to go with me places. Yes. I don't know if I could take a room full of strangers to the CDC where Jim got hung up with the AIDS patient and the guy owed him $48. I'm not sure I could pull that off on stage. I mean, I could in front of people who loved me or people who know who the fuck I am and know my voice. So I'm getting back into comedy at the weirdest fucking time where I used to not want to do the work before. Where I was like, I'm just going to do my act and hopefully these guys like it. Well, now I'm going to do my act and I know these guys aren't going to like it. But hopefully nobody rises up en masse and tackles me and takes me to fucking school. I don't know, which is not so bad. I wouldn't mind just fucking standing up and hitting guys. That'd be fine. If you want to just charge up one by one, ninja style, I can't take you all on if you come in a group. Do me a favor. If you're going to fight me, make it more Walking Dead than 28 Days Later. That's all I ask. I want to fight slow zombies, not fast zombies. That's all that matters. I can't fight fast zombies. I'm fat again, man. It's going to be a fucking tragedy. I'm going to get tackled and eaten and torn the fuck apart. Let's dig her up and fuck her. Boom. Now, he does that now, you know, fucking forget about it. And he does it at college, forget it. You know, but the thing that makes me laugh then is then there's the backlash from people who are angry about that. So then they go the other way and they think it's funny to use racial slurs and say all sorts of terrible things because it's this backlash against, we're just fighting against political correctness. Well, no, dumb fuck. You're not. You're not. Now you're just being shocking to be an asshole and ruining everything. And all of the people who are masters of craft and language are suffering because you're a dumb fuck. Yeah. You know what? Because a comic is armed with a scalpel. You come in again, like I said, with a fucking baseball bat and just start hitting people in the fucking head. You know, it's comedy is very much like Die Hard or like Bruce Willis in Pulp Fiction. Well, you could use a chainsaw. You could use a baseball bat. You could use a hammer. fuck it. I'm using a samurai sword and I'm cutting the fuck out of everybody because it's elegant and it makes sense. You know, you could leave a mess or you could just fucking get the job done with the fucking, the best weapon in the world. So most comics are armed with samurai swords. Now look, I got all of them. I got a chainsaw, I got a hammer, I got a bat, I got a samurai sword. It all depends on which one I choose to use. Unfortunately, I'm using them all on myself most of the time. So buy tickets to see me. Yay, I'm coming to your town someday.
I still think you should do a living room tour.
I wanted to. Fugazi.
Find a bunch of people that'll let you come to a show in their house and sell 25 tickets.
You got a little house party, a Schmitty house party?
Just have a Schmitty house party at people's houses. I think it's fucking hysterical.
Well, at that point, then I don't need to do this fucking show. Now I just walk around and I glad hand with people. Hi, how you doing? What's happening? Let's break some soup. You know, who the fuck knows? I mean, because if I'm in a room with like 30 people just hanging out in a house, see, all right, I'll tell you this. One of the Patreon rewards, because that's another thing, the Patreon page isn't up yet. And so I've been trying to think of like Patreon rewards. So I thought of a reward where it would just be like, I would live stream a football game. We would hang out together and I would talk about football. Or I'd talk about baseball. We'd joke around and I'd describe a game or anything, wrestling, whatever the fuck. But again, I'm giving everybody tells me, oh no, that's stupid. Nobody will buy that.
But Patreon is monthly, so you can't ask someone to give you $500 for a reward like that every month.
Yes, I can.
Nobody has $500 to give you.
Well, nobody will give it to me.
What you do is you have 10 people give you 50. And then you live stream it for the people who donate $50 a month.
Yes, I know, but I have to figure out the language and how to do that sort of thing. That's the deal. No, don't make fun of me. I want to. Look, I talked to Mex about this, all right? The Patreon page is not launched yet. Jamie, you asked, people have texted me and asked. It's not up yet. Oh, by the way, let's talk about this. Dude, remember we talking about Jeff who ordered a t-shirt?
Yeah.
All right, and then he wrote on the wall, like, he's like, hey, man, he wrote on the Patreon wall. He's like, hey, man, I didn't buy a t-shirt because I need a t-shirt. I bought it to support the show.
Yes.
And I wrote him and I said, well, good, because I'm never shipping that t-shirt. I don't know if you know this. I said, eventually you're just going to have to come and take it from me on air.
Is that why he asked for my address?
Well, wait. Yeah, maybe. The next day, he stopped his monthly donations. So I don't know if I pissed him off by writing that, like if he was mad.
It's hysterical.
Isn't that crazy? Like, so, because then he literally wrote, hey, man, I don't buy a shirt because I want a shirt. I buy it to support the show financially, man. I love the fucking show. And he's been around from the beginning, JT. And fucking, so then the next day he ends his monthly donation. And I'm like, that dude just fired me. What the fuck, man?
Maybe he stopped it
Nope.
during the middle of the month when Patreon was coming, and so it just didn't come in.
Nope, fired me. Cut me loose.
I think he was going to move over to Patreon, but you haven't launched
Well, so
it.
wait, so this is great. So I still haven't sent the shirt. Like,
Well,
I mean, I
you're
still
an
have it.
asshole.
Well, because I thought it was funny. I was going to make it like a running.
You're an asshole.
Listen, no bullshit. Because when I wrote that, he liked it, and I thought it was a funny thing. So I was going to make it a running thing where every week I'd go. Because I said to him, I go, you're going to be like our apologies to Matt Damon, who we couldn't get to tonight. I said you'll be that guy of our show. So literally, I go, hey Jeff, look, I'm sending the shirt. I promise. I would have made that a thing, a running thing. Literally the next day, he fucking cancels his monthly donation. He wants nothing to do with the show anymore. And I'm like, fuck. He did. He walked away in a huff.
Right now.
He walked away in an internet huff. He's not at all.
I don't
No,
think he did.
no, Jeff. He totally. Not only that, he threw his. I put it into the ocean. He did, like Bruce Dern in Coming Home. He went, he got naked on the ocean. He just fucking threw his iPod into the water because he fucking fired me.
I think. What are the 4 agreements again?
He put out all of his soldiers and he put my iPod out and he ripped off its epaulets. He ripped them right off their shoulder. He drummed me out of the Corps. God damn it! He put his iPod in a cot and all of the other fellow soldiers got together and they fucking beat it up with a goddamn pillowcase full of soap. They had a goddamn blanket party on my iPod. He fired me, fuck. I can't believe it. How does he let me go?
I don't know.
Why would you fire me? I was awesome. I was totally cool.
Are you going to pack up his shirt and mail it to
I'm
him?
gonna have to now, yeah, because
With
it's
a
the.
note now that's like, I know it's all over.
But
here's your shirt.
well, I'll tell you the funny thing. Like I'll just say this now because he's not listening. Who the fuck cares? But I was looking for I already have a surprise that I was throwing in the thing with the shirt, as an apology thing. I looked around my house and I'll do that sometimes to people, or I'll send them some silly nonsense. And so I had it all lined up. It was on my, and then when he cut me loose, I was like, oh fuck this! So I'm totally not sending it now. But then I'm like, well, he paid for it. You got to send it. So I'm like, but I was going to make it a running thing. But now when he cut me loose, now I'm like, maybe he cut me loose because he found out I made $1.84 from YouTube. He went, oh man, I can't possibly support this show now. This guy's rolling in it. So Gio, when I wrote him about that, I'm like, dude, yeah, this is brutal. And he's like, no, man, it's awesome. It's like really good. He said, this is a mammoth jump or whatever the fuck he used. And I go, yeah, no, it could not be less of a jump. It's terrible. Which is probably inaccurate wording because it could be less of a jump. I mean, it was 4 cents and then it went to $1.84 or whatever the fuck, or 3 cents. It was 3 and then it went to $1.84 in a day.
Yeah, that's like, what is that? That's like a...
Yeah, you know what that means? I'm going to make $60 a month. Woohoo!
That's $60 a month you didn't have.
I understand, but I can't quit driving for $60 a goddamn month.
But that's what I told you about Patreon. I've been on Patreon for almost a year.
Yes.
And all of a sudden I didn't get my money. And I was like, why didn't I get my money? And they wrote me a note and said, congratulations, we need a W-9. You've made over $600. And I went,
congratulations.
I made $600 this year for being me and creating art because people support
I know
me.
that.
That's amazing.
Yes, I do. And people are very nice.
But
they donate to the show.
It doesn't happen overnight.
But it should.
But it doesn't.
But oh my God, it should, because again, I'm driving on Sunday. I'm chasing it. And last week, again, I was fucking zoned the fuck out, man. I couldn't, I don't know why. Well, fuck it. I do know why. The $1.84 kicked me in the balls. I was just like, oh no. So all excited. YouTube channel on the run. People are going to give me some cash. Go listen to my past. It's all I have because my future is dead. And then they go to try to listen. And then my past is worth $1.84. I'm like, God damn it.
Today.
And then Gio's like, dude, he goes, we only have year one up. He goes, once all 9 years are up, you got 400 shows fucking humming and people listening and all that. He goes, it's going to be ridiculous the kind of money you're going to make. And I was like, so put those fucking shows up, man. Like, what are you doing? Why are you texting with me? Don't talk me down. If I'm going to hang myself, let me hang myself. It's your job to get the fucking money rolling.
Shannon!
Shut up.
The name of the show.
She's out with her goddamn husband.
The name of the show is Shannon with 19 exclamations.
No, she's out with her boyfriend now, and I know she's telling him, she's like, oh my God, this fucking banana head for Monday. Holy God. Like, she does that, right? Don't therapists do that?
For herself, and she pretends it's from you.
Well, no, why would she want me? She's heard all of my terrible stuff. Why the fuck would she ever want me? She's the one I can't fool. Literally anybody else I can try to fool. She's the one who's like, she's got binders and binders of why she should never pull that ring switcheroo and blame me. Fuck that. And she's a kid, man. She's like too small. Like she wouldn't fall for that kind of stupidity. I'm an old man. She's just like, oh, look at this old dude. So fucking, what did I lose when you yelled for fucking Shannon?
Nonsense. You being kicked in the balls by $1, not going out, chasing the money on a Sunday?
Oh, fuck, it was a bad week. Because I'm out there and, so, they had bonuses on it's so stupid. It's been slow here, all right, for Uber. So, so I have to do whatever I can to try to make as much money as I fucking possibly can. And I go out there but then of course real life interferes and my head's all scrambled and I'm like, I'm going to stay in and get my YouTube channel running. And hey, why don't I go ahead and work on some Patreon ideas? And then I make $1.84 and I'm like, oh, what a waste. I should be in the car because that's all I'm good for. At least I can start the car and drive it and get people where they're going to make money for that. Even the lowest ride of all is more than $1.84, but that's a lie. Actually, I had a $1.60 ride and a $1.45 ride the other day. Oh my Christ. At that point, I want to put the car into a wall. Just when I see I made $1.45 to take somebody, and even worse is if they had attitude. You drive somebody and they had attitude, like, you just gave me the stink eye for $1.45? Fuck that. That's awful. That's worse than $3 for $1 dunking booth nonsense. Seriously. When someone has to pay $3 or $1 for 3 balls and they dunk you. Oh, dude, I ever tell that story? Oh, I got to tell that story. Fucking Lenny and I hated each other forever. Okay, so and I got to talk about his good luck soup. I forgot. It's ham soup. It was good. I ate it yesterday. So it's good. It was good. He cooks his ass off. Oh, so fuck. So I went to make it orange juice and shit. So I go to his fucking house and I show up and I bring orange juice and ice. I was a little late, but then breakfast was ready at 10. I didn't get there till 11. So now it's all cold, man.
Why didn't you get there till at 10?
I fucking drove the night before until 4. Yeah. So I woke up and I texted him. I was rushing, and I grabbed the shower and I get to his house, but the potatoes were delicious because Lenny can cook again. He cooks his ass off, so it's like cheesy eggs and fucking cheesy potatoes, and the pancakes. I don't care, but there was no apple on the pancakes. He's like, we're having apple pancakes. I'm like, I didn't see fucking pancakes here. Why are you gonna brag in a text? Seriously. Yeah, I'm coming anyway. You don't have to lure me in with apple pancakes. If you just said pancakes, I'm still coming. You think that's going to put me over the top? You think I'm that guy? I mean, I'm fat, but I'm not that fat where I'm like, hey, what are you guys having? Pancakes? Any fruit with those pancakes? I'm not coming. I'm out. Plain wheat cakes? Who the fuck am I, Huck Finn? No, thank you. I'm not some fucking Hessian soldier hiding in your house from the fucking winter and you're making you cook with grain. Make me a goddamn apple pancake if you advertise it. I want a goddamn Dutch baby. Dude, that's it. Make me a goddamn Dutch baby. I want a Dutch baby that puffs up as big as a chef's hat and fill that motherfucker with apples. That's what I want if you advertise that. Don't fucking trick me into coming to your house for plain pancakes. I'm not that guy. Just say you're making pancakes. Because they looked weak. And I know he made them and they're delicious. And I think his daughters made them. So that's fine too. God, I hope they don't stumble onto this fucking show someday. Because they're gorgeous and they're lovely and they're really nice. His youngest. Oh God, I was talking to her in the car and I said to her, because I don't know how to talk to them because they're young girls. So I don't want to be an uncool weirdo uncle, but I also don't want to be me. Because it literally could be the same thing depending on how they, I don't know if they, because here's the thing. They're in that phase of like, whatever, Dad. You know what I mean? Like he gets that because one's 15 and one's 12. And by the way, the 12-year-old, she's like 5'9", I think. She came to get the door and I looked at her and I went, oh my God, 'cause she was like tiny when, even a year ago. And she's just fucking shooting up, man. Heroin. And I went to and that's what happens. She sprouts up like a weed. You just fucking get on the spike, get them early so they can fucking get tall. Give your kids heroin so they can get tall. Why do you think the NBA is so successful? Huh?
Heroin?
Yeah.
Really?
All those kids as babies were given heroin and they grew up to be fucking great athletes. That's the secret. That's why they don't want you to do it.
I don't think that's
No,
true.
the NBA is behind all of this don't do heroin bullshit because they're like, we got enough players. And they also don't want to have too many good players because then they'd have to have another league and it would take all the money out of their pockets. Dude, it's a whole thing. All of the NBA owners, they have this cabal. They have hospitals that they own and they have babies and they select babies for genetic splicing. They give them heroin and they farm them to become fucking NBA players. You didn't know this? I learned it at the CDC from my friend Jim. He had some inside information on a Hawks game. We were talking one time. So I'm talking to these to them, and I talked to my youngest niece, Lenny's youngest daughter, and I said, how are you? And she's like, I'm good. And I said, how is school? And she goes, I really like school now. I said, yeah. And she goes, yeah. She goes, everybody is really nice to me now, and it's really cool. And I instantly remembered what it was to be 12. I knew the feeling of acceptance and the feeling of maybe not having had acceptance at one point and then settling into your crowd or settling into people you knew were going to be your friends and having a safe place to be at that age, which has got to be, not got to be, I was 12. Fuck. I was in 12 and 8th grade. And I remember when I first moved to a different place in Bolingbrook, I started going to Hubert Humphrey Middle School. I fell in with Mark Pruitt and Ron Dagonia, and we became friends, and I was with them all the time until I punched Ron in the face on the bus. That probably wasn't nice. What?
That reminded me of the podcast earlier, and then he was like, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
That probably wasn't nice.
No.
I did dumb shit. Probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Well, I remember doing it. It was fucking, I remember it vividly.
Why?
I don't even know. We were arguing about something or fighting about something, and I literally followed him onto his bus, and those fucking auto weed smoking fucking half poor, poverty stricken fucking ladies who drive buses. They're awful. And so she's like, hey, you can't come on here. Like, the worst discipline ever. But I stormed onto the bus behind Ron, and Ron turned around and he was just like, fuck you, Mike, leave me alone. And I blasted him in the fucking face. I mean, I just unloaded. It might have been the first clean face punch I ever landed in my life. This is 8th grade. I mean, I used to torment my brothers, but the face was off limits. Because, your mom would see that. You just gotta hit them you gotta put a phone book over their face and then punch the phone book so it hurts them, but that there's no bruising.
Wow.
Shut up. I'm teasing.
Wow.
I wouldn't use a phone book.
So you just punched this guy because
I unloaded
he
on
was
him.
very upset with you for picking on him.
No idea. No, I wasn't. He was my friend. Literally, me and Mark and Ron were friends. That's who I sat with at lunch and all this stuff.
I think you're using the word friend wrong. If at any point your friend says to you, stop picking on me, Mike, and you punch him.
He didn't say stop picking on me. He's like, fuck you, Mike. Leave me alone.
Oh, leave me alone.
Whatever the fuck it was. You've never fought with friends? You've never had an argument or a dust up?
I punched a friend in the face.
Well, you're a lady. You don't punch people.
That's not true. I punched my rapist several times.
All right, well, okay, guess what? Was it on a school bus?
No.
If it was, he would have definitely deserved it. Before you punched your rapist, did he look at you and go, fuck you, Lily, come on, leave me alone?
No.
Oh, he should have. Because then he would have deserved it.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh fuck!
Let me ask you this.
No.
No. I know. I have one more question about your rape.
No, I really don't
No.
want to.
What kind of shoe did he use? And, in addition, as a follow-up, how long have you been in this country from Tanzania?
You're an idiot.
I'm an idiot. I'm having a harmless discussion about school buses, and you're like, haha, my rapist showed up. Yeah?
Ask me if I ever punched anybody. I did.
No, tell me again your rapist showed up. Say it again.
No,
Now
I'm
say
not
it.
going to.
Let's dig him up and fuck him.
Let's.
There you go. Way to try to drop anchor on my fucking show. Here's a tip from your old Uncle Mike. Don't bring up your rapist in the middle of a comedy show. I can't take a poll of everybody out there. Although I got to be honest, it's a safe bet to assume every woman in the audience has been raped. I'm not going to lie to you.
Kinda.
Sadly, at some point, every woman out there has had some horrible thing happen to them. You just got to assume that.
At the hands of a man.
Or another lady in a disguise. Oh. Yeah.
Ladies don't rape a lot of other ladies.
You never know.
There's
You can't say
certain
that.
rape.
Just because you haven't been doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. Please. I don't want you to be that person. Don't rule it out.
Have you ever been to a rape support group? There's not a lot of lady-on-lady rape people in there. Trust me.
You talking about an RSG?
Oh my god.
I don't think I've been. Although if I would, I'd bring an RPG to fire off grenades of love to these ladies to let them know that they're not
And I'm
alone.
not saying it doesn't happen.
And it
just
wasn't
like
their fault.
Men don't get raped. They do.
Ladies might rape ladies. Because, what if you're a real man-hating lady and you're like, but fuck, I want to sexually violate somebody. And then you're like, there you go. Because you just find the closest thing that's soft.
I
Boom.
think if you're a man-hating lady, you end up Eileen Warren.
When I went to the circus, I saw the man-hating lady. Oh. I mean, it cost $1 to get in there. Here's the thing. I pay the $1. I see the sign. It says man-hating lady. I still pay the $1 to go in. What am I thinking? Right? I think I'm going to go in and have a good time. I'm like, I couldn't possibly be, right? I walk in. She was fucking rude as hell. That's the worst $1 I ever spent. And now I just have 84 cents left. Did I finally make it through to you?
It took me a second.
All right. That's the whole reason I put the Patreon thing up. The whole reason I got the YouTube thing running is to go to that show again and tell her I disagree with her methods.
Oh shit.
Step right up. Come see the man-hating lady. 4 quarters. Get you in the door. I'm like, well, I'll check this out. I'm sure it's going to be polite and wonderful. I go in. She was terribly rude to me.
That's the name of the show, Man-Hating Lady.
Oh, sure.
Shannon.
The man-hating lady. I went right in. I saw the sign. I still paid. Why?
I want to hear about the dunk tank since we're on Sideshow now.
I want to talk more about your rapist and your choice of
I
footwear.
really don't.
You brought it up, man. You fucking hey, no.
You asked me
No.
who I punched. I told you who I
The raping genie does not go back into the raping bottle. He's out lurking.
Well, then I can go, which one? I mean,
So here you go. So,
3 balls for $1.
what?
3 balls for $1.
What is that? For what?
The dunking tank. 3
Oh,
balls
fuck.
for
Oh, yeah.
$1.
Okay, yeah. Jesus. You know what? You know what's funny? This is a thing. All right. Lenny and I, because we're talking now, so it's dumb to even talk about now. What are you doing?
I'm turning the heater on. I'm cold.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Shut up.
Well, it's hot in here. I had to take my fucking hoodie off. You got lady stuff going on or something?
It's my house.
That's a good
Leave
point.
me
That's
alone.
it's a solid point. It's a good point.
Just because you're sweaty.
I'm not sweaty,
You're
although I am all
always
fat
hot.
now.
You're
Well,
always hot.
well, I run
I'm
hot.
always cold.
I'm running hot. Running cold. What song is that? Who does that song? Have you ever seen the Star Search audition tape?
No.
It's got to be on YouTube. You have to see it. If you guys haven't seen it, the best of the worst Star Search auditions. My friend, it was one of those things that, Harry Shearer, Penn Jillette have those, that collection of fucking bootleg tapes of a million different things. Well, Mike Toomey had some of those. And one of them he had was the best of the worst Star Search auditions, and like I said, it's got to be because he also had the fucking Kenny Wilson. It's a comedian who hits a guy in the fucking head with a guitar. We've talked about it on here, haven't we? I know I talked about it. Never Not Funny. There's a comedian one. All right, I'll tell you this real quick. And remember to get back to whatever the fuck we were talking about. This is so stupid. There's a video of a comedian. He's on stage. His name's Kenny fucking Wilson. Kenny Wilson. That's it. And he's got a guitar and he's playing, and some guy's being a shithead to him in the front row, and the guy's heckling him, a guy's heckling him, and he's heckling back and whatever. And then finally, the guy starts to approach the stage, and Kenny goes, "Oh, get on up here, motherfucker!" And he takes his guitar off and holds it like a baseball bat. And it's being filmed. There's a one camera shot. He was obviously filming it for like a fucking demo tape or something. So he's like, get up. And he literally goes, "Get on up here, motherfucker." And everybody's like, "Oh, hi." And the crowd starts to stir and all this. And the guy comes on stage and you don't see it happen, but you just see Kenny Wilson wind up. The dude's out of camera range. And you just hear, kabong! He fucking blasts him with the guitar, destroys him, lays him the fuck out. And the best thing, seriously, that he killed, because the guy was heckling and the guy charges the stage. He comes up on stage. So Kenny's like he's got his guitar like a baseball bat. And he's, come on up here, motherfucker. And the dude comes on stage and Kenny blasts him with the guitar, lays him the fuck out. And because the crowd's like, woohoo, yeah, come on, oh, and they get quiet. And it's totally quiet. And then Kenny looks at the crowd and comes back into camera range, holding the neck of the guitar. The rest of it's gone. He's literally holding the guitar and he comes to the microphone and he goes, "Sorry about that, folks, but you saw it. The guy fucking came at me." And some woman goes, "No, you are out of line." Like they just start yelling at him. So Kenny, he goes, "All right, show's over." Like right then. The two most gorgeous things in the video, he smashes the guy with the guitar. He comes back and he goes, "Guy fucking came at me." "No." And he goes, "All right, show's over." He's got the neck of the guitar in his hand, slides the pick in between the strings and puts it fucking... It's fucking gorgeous. It's like nothing, just literally he goes into that automatic pilot, was like, "All right, the pick goes in here and I put this disembodied neck of the guitar and he goes to walk off stage. People are getting up and they're like going to call the cops, and you just hear this guy go, "I want my money back." The guy who got hit with the fucking guitar. You've never seen that tape?
No.
I can't believe I haven't even talked about it in here. It's fucking legendary. It's got to be on YouTube. If it's not, it's somewhere online. But he just fucking Al Kabongs the shit out of the guy with the guitar. Has the neck, comes back into camera range, just holding the fucking neck of the guitar. "Yeah, you saw a guy fucking came at me." "No!" This fucking country chick. He goes, "All right, show's over." He slides the pick right into the fucking neck between the strings. Gorgeous. "I want my money back." So Mike had that tape, and then he had a tape called "The Best of the Worst Star Search Auditions." And it's people who sent in tapes from their homes to try to get on Star Search, and some producer there compiled them into a joke reel, a gag reel that went around to friends.
So mean.
Well, yeah, but you got to see it because it opens up with a chick and she's got, a tape playing. It's I think it's New Attitude by Patti LaBelle. And she comes in and she got the big 80s hair and she just goes, "Running hot, running cold," like that bad. I mean, and she's on stage. I think it's some like talent show. Oh my God, it's so bad. But then it goes through and it shows people doing comedy in their backyards. There's a guy holding a hairbrush and he's doing comedy in his bathroom to a mirror and he's filming himself. And he sent that to Star Search to try to get on. This one woman walks out. She wants to be a spokesmodel. Remember they used to do that on fucking Star Search?
Oh, yes.
She literally comes out and look, I don't body shame. I'm not a terrible person. But she was wearing a bathing suit that, quite frankly, probably wanted to retire itself in protest. It just doesn't work for her shape. It looked like somebody put a couple of multicolored wristbands on a pear. It just didn't work for her. She looked like she'd be sitting under a tree eating honey out of a jar with poo. I mean, that's the kind of body she had. So she's, but that makes sense, right? Now you know who she looks like.
Oh my God.
I'm proud of that. That's actually a pretty good description. So she looked like she would have had a real struggle trying to get a hula hoop to work. So she just round, She looks like you could go over Niagara Falls in her.
Stop.
So am I explaining what she looked like?
Stop.
So, but all right. So look, here's the best part though. That's not the worst part of it.
It's not a bad part.
She turned, well, I mean, to be a spokesmodel, that's not the least disqualifying part of her audio or videotape. She turns around and she says, hi. And I can't remember the name, but my name is Roxanne Carell, but you can call me Mystical Chantel. Some bullshit fucking,
Yeah.
She's got her own name and then she's got a spokesmodel name. She has a hair lip.
Oh, that's rough.
So that's why I'm saying from the neck down, she'd have a shot at spokesmodel glory if they changed the rules and relaxed them a little bit. But from the neck up, no, she should be in a cage somewhere opening bottles of beer with her mouth.
Stop it!
I'm just saying. And if they had that category on Star Search, she's a fucking lock. All right? She's a goddamn shoo-in. And by the way, as we know, a Tanzanian national has a much different definition of a shoo-in than we do. Seriously, I fucking love me. I don't care what you think. Fucking awesome. That was great. But yeah, she turns around. She's got a hair lip, and my name is Roxanne. Oh my God, it's awful. That has to be on YouTube somewhere, guys. If you haven't seen it, look it up. So how do we even spin into that? I don't even fucking know.
3 balls for $1.
3 balls for $1. So when Lenny and I were feuding, and we weren't getting along for $1 million. Well, let's put it this way. You guys knew when I started the show, I wasn't talking to Lenny. You know, I called him Fredo. I called him that. I'm never not funny and shit like that because it wasn't fucking happening. We weren't getting along. He was that dude who I became my mom's protector. And also he was just the older brother. So I rebelled against him. I told you I punched Ron DeGonia on the bus. I punched Lenny in the face one time and just fucking ran. Oh my God. It was the first time I ever stood up to him. It was by an ice rink by my house. And I punched him in the face and fucking booked. But it was winter and I was wearing winter clothes and I fell and I got tackled and then I got the shit beat out of me, which was awful. So he was that dude. He ruled with an iron hand because again, as I've said before, he had to be my dad in addition to my older brother. So we constantly wound up fighting. I mean, always fist fighting or yelling or whatever. As I got older and I started to become my own person or what I perceived my own person to be, I would rebel against him telling me what the fuck to do because he'd done it my entire childhood. So then he would fight with my mom, and then he had a bunch of shit going on, and he brought a girl home, and I've told that story on the show. Don't buy year one. Go listen to it on fucking YouTube, God damn it. Fucking $1.84. I can't wait to see what it's going to be tomorrow. So they had a high school, I can't even remember if it was it had to be a high school event. Where we went out and you had to buy money. It was this fundraiser for the football team because Lenny played football. And I think I was with just Dennis. It might have been Jeff too. Dennis and Jeff. If Mex remembers this, he'd be better than me. But we went to the carnival. And, it was a homecoming thing where they were making money because they used to have the Powder Puff game where the guys dressed up as cheerleaders and the girls played football and all that bullshit happened. Do you remember? You know what else we had in my school? This is fucking totally true. We had a slave auction at my school.
Don't doubt it, because
you could bid on, all the girls could bid on good looking guys and all the guys could bid on girls. And then they had to carry your books and they had to bring you to and from class. And dude, think about that now. Think about that, dude. We had literally a slave auction. You'd walk them out. I think they had a collar around their neck. And then and it wasn't like that fancy one where they do, really good looking people at a dinner and they're like, bid for a date or whatever. No, I believe that there were chains involved. I think somehow and actually, for authenticity, they actually took them to Zimbabwe on a class trip and then sailed them back on a boat.
Oh my God.
Look, man, my school was very concerned with authenticity. But yeah, they had a slave auction. And you could buy a girl or a guy or whatever, and then they had to carry your books and do whatever you told them all the way. They had to sing in lunch if you made them sing or get up on the catwalk. And yeah, you could make them do whatever you fucking wanted because you owned them because they were a slave. And it was to raise money for, I don't even know what the fuck. Probably not the NAACP, I'll tell you that. I don't think they saw a dime of the slave auction from my school. And we've had it all 4 years. As a matter of fact, I got to be honest with you, I think I might still own a couple of guys. I got to make some phone calls. Holy fuck, I'm doing all this shit by myself. I got to call these dudes. I own these motherfuckers. Hey, man, the fuck? Oh, you got kids? I got bad news for you. Got to sell them off. I'll try to keep them together, but I can't fucking guarantee it. It all depends on the best and highest bids that come in. So they had this homecoming carnival. In addition to the fucking slave auction, which was ridiculous, they had a dunk booth. And football players or whatever, people would take their, different turns being in it. And and Lenny was in it. And this is when he and I weren't talking. Like, we were in this like crazy, like fighting and hating one another. And when you're in the dunk booth, your job's to be an asshole, waiting to get, so people will pay money. So I'm walking by and he starts fucking yelling and I see it's him. And I there was no even like, well, we'd better move along, fellas. I saw it was him. I wanted to invent a time machine to travel forward enough to get a job to make $1,000 to come back and just throw all of the balls I could at the dunk booth. It wasn't like I was like, oh, he's talking shit. Well, I probably, no, I wanted to give every cent. I would have, if you would have had a fucking document that said I had to give my firstborn and like half my earnings for the rest of my life, I would have done it just to keep throwing things at the dunk booth. Because I just wanted, that's all I wanted was the opportunity to I wanted him to drown. I really wanted to just fucking do as much as I possibly could till he could inhale enough water. And just finally he didn't emerge from the goddamn water if I hit the target. But I figured I'd start with $1. And it was 3 balls for $1. And they gave it to me and he's talking shit. And people in the school knew that he and I did not get along. They knew we were brothers. They knew that there was a thing between us. And he starts yelling at me and I take the first one and I look, I fired it at the target. And I've never done anything more true in my life. Bing! He goes down. And people go crazy. They're like, yeah, oh, they'll go. And he's climbing up and he's like, all right, well, as you're fucking lucky. He set the thing up again. I throw the second one, bing, fucking down into the water. And people are like fucking cheering now and they're starting to gather around and he climbs out of the water and they set the bench up. And he sits down and he's like, oh man, fucking 2. Yeah, everybody gets lucky. Everyone's like, bing, gone. 3 balls, 3 fucking targets, 3 soakings of my goddamn Jagoff brother. It was fucking perfect. Perfect. I'm literally remembering that story just now. And I'll be pissed because like in an hour or a day, I'm going to remember more of it and have more details to build it up better. But fuck, I totally forgot about that until we just mentioned it. God damn it. But yeah, he sat in the dunk booth and I hit him all 3 fucking times. Literally, got to be the 3 best throws I've made in my life.
And that was all the money you had.
That's it.
Right?
That's all. And you know what? Happy to fucking spend it.
Yeah, really.
Because I had already spent $75 on slaves, who I've got to call. How great would that be? If I call up Mike Napier and tell him he's got to come to my house and build a deck. Oh, how awesome would that be? No, it's fucking perfect.
I'm pretty sure we're not allowed to do that anymore.
I got to call up Eddie Bridges and tell him to come to my house and like put out my wardrobe for the next day. That's fucking perfect. I call Erin Googly Eyes Grand and tell her she got to make some fucking Hoppin' John and stew. She's got to work in the kitchen. She's my house Googly Eyes. She's not a field Googly Eyes. She's my house Googly Eyes.
Wow.
We called Erin Grand Googly Eyes because in the yearbook she I don't know what the fuck happened. It looked like just before she went and got her photo taken, Woody Woodpecker hit her with a mallet.
But she didn't look like
Just fucking. Well, of course she did, but I mean, in the picture it's even more pronounced. It's all fuck. She's a scramble head with like little blue birds flying around her fucking skull.
You were a bully in high school.
I wasn't a bully at all. This is the truth.
Everybody called her names.
Erin Googly Eye Grand.
That's mean.
It's not like Ted. I can't say names. That's the thing. Is like now I'm on YouTube. Now I'm nationwide. These people are gonna stumble into this fucking shit. All right. But Erin Googly Eye Grand, she won't listen. Especially now that I own her. I'm gonna forbid her. I'm gonna call her up. Hey, you remember I bought you at a slave auction sophomore year? You can't listen to my show, but you got to come to my house and you got to break some soup with me. But yeah, man, 3 fucking throws. 3 throws and I put them down on all 3. And literally the 3 truest throws I've ever made in my life. I would say the 4th best throw is we played this game called Flicker Ball where you had to fucking, it was like a combination of football and basketball. I've talked about that on here. It was one of my greatest athletic moments. I fucking froze at I was like 25 yards away from the target and I just wound up and everybody goes, no! And it just sailed right through the middle. Didn't touch either side, didn't hit the board, just a fucking goal. And I literally turned around like, yeah, that's right. Who's the king of Flicker Ball? Me! The goddamn I'm the king of Flicker Ball. The king of Flicker Ball. But yeah, that's 4 of the truest throws I've ever made in my life. I will tell you this. Not only 4 of the truest throws I've ever made in my life, but that's how you spend a goddamn dollar. You cough up a buck to see the man-hating lady, that's your own fucking fault. But if you pay a buck to get 3 shots to drown your brother, that's how you spend fucking 8 bits. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friends at Facebook.com/the40-year-old boy. Why wouldn't you be? I'm there. I need a friend. When I'm down, I'm troubled. I need a helping hand. So step up there and be my friend at Facebook. You know, I keep fluctuating. I always either have 2,079 friends or 2,080 friends. I lose one person a week, and then I'll gain somebody. Then I lose one person a week. Look out, bang. Is that okay that I bumped your precious fucking table?
I don't mind that you bump it. It's when you pound your fist on it like you want to kill someone.
Well, it's a
fragile table, and it's not mine. It's Eddie's.
Hey, look, I want a little Khrushchev on your table. That's fine. But think of all the other terrible things I could have done with that shoe. All right, so.
Wait for you to pee on it.
You're from Tanzania? So look at that. Why wouldn't you want to be my friend after that nonsense? Be my pal. So that's Facebook.com/the40-year-old boy. I'm on Snapchat at Mike40YOB, I believe.
Have you sent a picture out yet?
No.
Then you're not really on Snapchat.
I'm lurking on there. I'm on Mike40YOB, I believe that's my thing. Oh, I'll take it. Please do. Because last week I threatened to publish that one photo. I'll do it. You know what? I'll do it right when we finish the show today. The photo you took last week. Oh no, you're sending that photo. People have to be so annoyed with us taking photos on a fucking podcast.
No, only you're annoyed. No one knows we're taking photos until you tell them.
Well, because they need to know what the fuck is going on, man. Don't take a photo of me. Fuck. All right. So anyway, I'm at Snapchat.com/ I think I'm Mike40YOB, right?
Yes, you are. And I just sent you that photo just to annoy you.
Yay. So great. And then where else am I? Snapchat. Oh, Instagram. At Instagram, I'm Mike40YOB. And so I'm at Instagram. I'm at Snapchat. I'm at Facebook. I'm at Twitter.com/the40-year-old boy. And I'm at YouTube.com. Please go search Mike Schmidt on YouTube or search, I think it's the 40-year-old boy or Mike40YOB. And then you'll search it and you'll find the 40-year-old boy YouTube channel. And why not watch shows on there? They're awesome. Or listen to old podcasts and look at old clips of other times I did jokes and things like that. Why wouldn't you do that? I would if I was you, and I'm not, but I should be. I could be. Why can't I be you? I guess that's the question I want to ask today. All right, so do those things, please, and investigate me at all those places and find me and be my friend and follow me and send me things. Why wouldn't you do that, right? We're all pals. Send me an Instagram photo of me. Take one of me and send me a photo of me, like Lily just did.
I don't think they can take one of you if they're not there.
I don't know. They could be lurking in the bushes. They could be outside and hiding right now. So please do those things and send those things right now. Our friend David Hernandez, he is our great friend. He's at Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. You can follow him, friend him there. Be his friend and confidant there and find out why he does all the cool things he does for this show, like all of the music and all of the artwork, all the theme songs, the song I'm about to play after this. If I play a song or a commercial, he's either the other voice or he's the guy playing all the instruments and singing. But he's the guy. You want to be his friend at Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. Or you can visit him at artbydmh.com. That's ARTBYDMH.com. And check out all of his cool stuff there. He's selling things. He'll do custom artwork for you. If you say to him, hey, dude, can you do a portrait of me using only takeout packets of sauce from Panda Express? He would do it. He would paint that painting of you. And it would smell delicious, but would attract wasps. Is that what you really want with your face?
Attract wasps?
I think it would. It's a sweet sauce. It depends on what sauce he used. But if that's what people want for their face, do a portrait of me using only takeout packets of sauce from Panda Express. He can do that. He will work in any milieu you choose, as long as you're paying. He also has Valscapes and Guy Cons. Those are available. Please get those from him and check out his cool stuff. And our friend Ryan Dirks does all the web stuff, and I need to tell him about. There's all sorts of shit I got to do, but it's stuff I got to put in motion. I need a YouTube page for the website. I need to take down these fucking whatever the fuck. I got a bunch of stuff to do. But Ryan Dirks will be the point man for all that if I ever contact him. Although right now he's busy out on a farm trekking through the mud. That's how I like to do it. I like to get a rural guy to do my urban stuff. That's how I handle my business. So please be his friend at Facebook.com/Ryan Dirks. And the producer of this show is our great friend Lily Von Stupp. I don't know, there used to be a legal pad. Now she texts me things that might be the name of the show. I don't fucking know. But she's here and she's queer, so you should get used to that probably. It's terrible. Just your brain does dumb things. But you can go to her and be her friend at facebook.com/Lily Von Shtupp. She's accepting friends there all the time. Please go ahead and find out exactly what she's doing and who she wants to be with. I think it's you. She's at Instagram. You can find her at Lily Von Shtupp. She's on Instagram. She's at Snapchat. She's Lily Von Shtupp. Add her there. Send her interesting photos. She'll be thrilled. And also, she's at Patreon. Please go to her Patreon page, patreon.com/Lily. Unbelievably, she got LILI, which was really great. She's excited for that. Yeah. So she's at patreon.com. Please help her out there. And but I'll tell you this. There's Facebook. There's Twitter. You can follow her at twitter.com/Lily Von Shtupp, twitter.com/MNTs, twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest, and twitter.com/Boobdini. But if you'd like to write her a personal note, because there's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's Snapchat, there's Instagram, but if you'd like to write her a personal note, there's Patreon, but if you want to write her a personal note and find out just how much sugar she likes on her cereal in the morning.
Really? Everybody's going to fuck with me on that?
You can write her at Lily@burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
I wish you could swim like dolphins can swim. Though nothing will keep us together. We can beat them forever and ever. Oh, we can be heroes just for one day. I will be king, and you will be queen. Though nothing will drive them away, we can be heroes just for one day. We can be us just for one day.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica, and I'd love to remind you about that, except I record the show on Tuesdays, at Casa de Lily, and I come here and we hang out, and I ruin my back sitting in the most uncomfortable chair, sitting at the childish art table that I've talked about and I banged on and she yelled at me for earlier. And sometimes, we have to break down and we stop, especially when we wrap up the first half of the show like we just did, or the first 3/4 of the show, or 2/3 of the show. Who knows how fucking long I'm going to talk now?
9, 10.
Could be.
7, 16.
8 bits.
8 bits of the show.
So sometimes you've got to fucking stop down. And when you do that, you check your email and you go on Twitter and you see what's happening in the world. And you stumble into the fact that the president-elect of the United States apparently is a piss hog. You didn't realize that until you went to Twitter seconds ago and went, holy fuck, what did I miss?
This is why you don't like to work. You miss.
This is why I don't want to leave the house. And I'm not even kidding. I read Twitter like a book. Like I said, I'll read it from the bottom up, what I missed, and I'll follow along. I just keep it live and keep reading it. It's the bane of my existence because I don't fucking get anything done because I'm constantly reading on Twitter. So then I have to take time off to come here and do the show or when I'm driving, and I miss stuff. And I miss this. Holy fuck. I guess BuzzFeed printed a dossier. This is a pissier. I don't know what you want to call it. A stack of 35 pages explaining how Trump has ties to Russia because they have video of him hiring hookers to piss on a bed that Obama once fucking slept in? Are you kidding me?
It seems perfectly normal.
You petty fuck. He does know that Barack and Michelle either also, first of all, are not sleeping in the bed again. You do know that, right? You're befouling the bed after they split, so you're kind of really trying to put the horse away when after it ran out of the fucking barn or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But even worse than that, you know they aren't the maids there at the fucking hotel and they have to clean that shit up, correct? See, this is why the rich are different than you and me. They can bring in a couple of hookers to piss all over a bed and then what, fly the fuck home, I guess? This explains why he has a gold bedroom, so nobody will know the fucking difference. You fucking monster. I don't, and I'll tell you what, I love it. I don't care. Because again, everybody's been like, oh, well, we have to give it time and verify. I don't verify. I don't give a shit. I hope this last, because we've just been reading Twitter for the past 20 minutes. I hope this sticks to him forever. No wonder his skin is fucking orange. It's not orange, it's yellow. This is why. Now we know. You fucking animal. Are you kidding me? And look, I'm not sex shaming. If you're into piss, I don't give a fuck. I'm not. I find it fucking horrifying, quite frankly. I've only had it happen once, and it was. I don't even want to get into that, quite frankly, because the other person is still alive, and eventually their name will come out, and I'm not going to do that. But it was a really long time ago. All right, so I don't know. It was who cares?
A while ago. Let's just leave it.
Yeah, I'm going to drop it. Nobody wants to hear it. Hey, look, this isn't about me.
That's right.
This is about the fucking P.O.T.U.S., and I mean the P.O.T.U.S. Yeah, that's right. Holy
Twitter
fuck.
Account available?
P.O.T.U.S? It might be. I have no idea. I didn't look.
I don't want to go get it.
Go
now.
snag it. Do your thing.
P.O.T.U.S.
Unbelievable. I'm reading, and look, and it says something about his corruption and what a fucking monster this guy is, that you can read the 35-page dossier. We scanned like 5 of the pages, 6 of the pages, and there's stuff that's yellow penned, which is fitting, probably, when you really think about it. It's appropriate they busted out the yellow highlighter to tell me about what the fuck was going on. But reading it, the fact that he was hiring hookers to piss on him or whatever in the bed, the least damaging part of the story.
Well, yes.
I mean,
outrageous.
Truly the funniest part of the story, absolutely, the fact that because look, if you're going to tell me that John F. Kennedy never had Marilyn Monroe blast a fire hose into his fucking face, you're a liar, okay? Let it go, Marilyn. You know that happened.
Oh my god.
LBJ had a couple of fucking hookers wander in and just fucking wail on his face. They did. They unleashed and put him in a kid's wading pool and just fucking dripped all over him. And he was like, I say, by gosh, ladies, let it go. That's yellow gold in my Texas blood. I don't know who the fuck that is. That's my LBJ. So I guarantee, when you have absolute power, it corrupts and you do whatever the fuck you want. Dude, I can't wait to win the Powerball. Are you fucking kidding me? Holy God. There will be heretofore undiscovered tribes of natives out in the fucking boondocks of fucking Tanzania who I will be handing shoes to and going, go at it, fellas. Let's see what happens.
Oh my Christ, that is not good.
That's why you got to have money. Because then everybody does what the fuck you tell them to do. That's what I said. I talked about it before. When I dress like Richie Rich with a golden fork and I eat off people's plates because I'm rich, they can't fucking stop me. It'll be fucking, that's what you do. You hire Sometimes you dress like Richie Rich with a golden fork and you eat off people's plates. And sometimes you are Richie Rich and you have fucking golden showers in a Russian hotel room somewhere, not realizing you're being fucking taped. Who does that shit in a hotel room in another country? I don't even do it in another state. You know, I got worried on the road when I was banging girls that I was worrying who was fucking watching me in the hotels, for fuck's sake. Not that they wanted to see a fat middle act get laid, but who the fuck knows? I might wind up on Pornhub somewhere. Just a fat, look, it's hard enough jerking off at my laptop without covering the camera, not knowing who the fuck is staring at me, all right? You know, I'm at motherless.com with my face buried into a ton of fucking porn, and then I see that little, just that glint of light that catches the fucking camera lens as I get a handful of fucking shaft, and I'm like, holy fuck, maybe, just maybe, I'm on somebody else's fucking channel. That's why I don't understand how you go to fucking Russia and you just do this and you trust that, I guess because he's stupid and rich, he just figures he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah. And did. Yeah. And now, and look, everybody's going to be like, well, you know, this is unproven and, you know, you couldn't be taking it as, hey, guess what? I got news for you. Emails were unproven too, motherfucker. All right? All of the bullshit about the Clinton Foundation and there was optics and it might have looked bad. None of that was fucking proven. It was all horseshit. Huh?
Pizzagate.
Oh, well, that doesn't even count.
But
that's just fucking.
Everybody's like, oh my God. And then
yes, but again, as we all know, everybody defends their guy. I mean, you know, he talked about, and now we find out he wasn't grabbing him by the pussy. He was just washing his hands.
Just fucking stop right now.
We don't even get to call him Trump anymore. From now on, he's President this fucking guy. Seriously. What a fucking embarrassment. And look, I had plenty of email conversations with you people who voted for him, and I talked to you people on Facebook, and I hope all of the things you want go well for you and your families. I hope somehow you get the things you need. But holy fuck, even now, please realize you just voted for not even more of the same. You know what you voted for? You voted for whore of the same. That's what you fucking voted for. Oh. And now the guy who tells you that Muslims should be kicked out of this country is seen for who he is. A weakling who put himself in a compromised position to an enemy of this fucking country and is now forced to capitulate to whatever they want in a naked grab to try to keep power or save face. It's embarrassing. And I hope in his alone moments when he is scared and he realizes what he's done, he actually has a moment of fucking clarity and he realizes exactly what he's done to himself and his name. He might be president, but this sticks to him forever. This will drip off of him and he will be soaked in piss for the next 4 fucking years, if not the next 8. And he has brought shame to himself and to this country. He has a 10-year-old son. He has a daughter. He has people and he had a name. It might have been a buffoonish name. It might have been a ridiculous legacy, but he was at least known as somebody who could be on TV and he entertained people and he did get ratings, or he had a small kingdom that he had carved out for himself that he should have been happy with, but he couldn't be. And now whatever his predilections are and his peccadillos and another word that begins with P, whatever's being, fitting, fucking fitting, they're being exposed and brought to light, and I hope it drives him fucking mad.
Like you said, though, the worst part of it is not that.
No, the worst part is the
lawyer meeting.
Yes.
And oh my God.
But that's what I'm saying. That's all power, politics, nonsense, and they all start with P. President, power, politics, all of these start with P. It's fitting that they're going to end with P. I hope. I fucking hope. Because again, like I said, I don't give a fuck. When you read about he got pissed on by hookers, again, I don't doubt that a million presidents have done the same fucking thing. I think Obama's probably the one who didn't, because he seems to be the only one who's in a marriage that he cared about. And bullshit. George H.W. Bush loved Barbara. I don't doubt that. Ronald Reagan loved, Nancy gave the best head in Hollywood. And that's why Ronnie fucking got her after she got passed around by the Rat Pack for fucking months. So that's whatever. It doesn't, I don't give a fuck. Have sex and fuck whoever you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody. But this motherfucker is hurting people. Because you know what? He did these things. And now he's been compromised. So to save himself from embarrassment, he's selling out this fucking country. It's embarrassing. They chose to take Ukraine out of the Republican platform because otherwise they would have put out this fucking videotape, this incriminating nonsense. And like I said, Whether you believe it or not, you have to believe that when Manafort went to Russia, something happened. There was no reason. The Russians have admitted they had contact with high people in his administration.
Yep.
The information, the intelligence community has said Russia was trying to influence the election. And they've done this brilliantly. Think about this. Lily and I were just talking about this.
Yep.
They compromised Hillary before the election by putting out all of the information about, they had James Comey release the thing from the FBI and, where we're still looking at Weiner's laptop. There was nothing there. They admitted it. There was nothing there, but they put it out just before the election and they compromised Hillary because she looked like she was going to win. So they took her out at the fucking knees and then their guy wins and now they're going to take him out with this fucking bullshit. So even that's all they've done is destabilize trust in this government and in this country. Because now we've been told, all these people are out there, they're like, I don't trust the fucking mainstream media. I don't trust these people. Well, now you're not going to trust anybody.
Nope.
You didn't trust Hillary. Now you're not going to trust Trump. And whether you can explain this away and go, well, yeah, if everybody has hookers and golden showers, well, I don't give a fuck about that. It's funny to make fun of, but that's not what destroys the country. What destroys the country is the treason and the willingness to look the other way as Russia does things that we don't normally agree with. But because he doesn't want to be embarrassed, he's going to let them do it. And how deep does this go with the people in his... Do the people at Breitbart know? Did Kellyanne Conway? Do these people, every time they walk out and they talk... Because again, you wanted to get rid of Hillary because you said Benghazi and you said all these terrible things and she's a liar and they're this couple that is, ruling monarchy of the... Whatever the fuck. I get that. And I will admit... Bush to Clinton to Obama to Clinton. I mean, yeah, that's a little rough. I remember when I was a kid, I used to like the fact there'd be like 10 dudes who had a shot at being president. And now it looks like nobody really has that shot at being president. They have to buy it or steal it, as we're seeing. But she didn't deserve this. I mean, again, you can think whatever you want about Benghazi and fucking emails. She had all of the experience. She was ready to do the fucking job and fucking waiting. And then this motherfucker comes in and colludes with an enemy of the state to make sure she doesn't achieve what, quite frankly, I believe she should have. And now they're just going to, if anything, I hope they just toss him aside. I hope he becomes, it's terrible because look, Mike Pence is just as bad.
No, Mike Pence is worse in a different way.
Yeah, because he means it.
Yeah.
Okay. Trump's a buffoon. We've talked about this on here. Trump is a theater floor in a suit. He's just unctuous and sticky and gross. He is a fucking haircut and a fetish. That's all that fucking guy is. Mike Pence, however, and this is funny, Mike Pence, if he had moral authority over this country, would put guys like Trump in jail for doing that.
Yep. And instead he's got to stand behind him right now.
Well, it's better than in front of him.
Honestly, if they stand behind this and Kellyanne gets on TV and starts going, oh, this is absolutely fine, and then the documents come out and she's like, oh, well, actually, he does do that, but, we don't need to talk about a personal life. Oh, my Christ, I will lose my shit. I will lose it.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Trump does get into the fucking White House, and right now, I don't know, iffy, he's supposed to, but it looks iffy. I think there's not a little bit of irony in the fact he'll be the first president to actually take a shot in the Lincoln bedroom.
That's a pun on words.
Hi. I used to write jokes.
That's beautiful.
It's
oh my God.
Terrifying. I want
to just laugh hysterically because you get to a point where you're like, I can't be outraged anymore. I can't be upset anymore. I can't be shocked by this anymore.
No, I know. And I also can't dismiss that this will be the thing that takes him down because they always find a way to squirm the fuck out of it. But what I am saying is this will always hang around his fucking neck.
Oh yeah.
Like a vial of piss with a crucifix in it. It will hang around his fucking neck. Because, evangelicals forgave him for all of his fucking bullying, being married 3 times, having, and speaking of this, by the way, the pissing on the hookers in the Russia in the hotel room, that's actually how he met Melania. So, it's fucking terrible that, again, like I said, religious people were willing to excuse this vulgar ape and say that the things that he did were good or smart, or they were supporting him because they wanted power and they want to take abortion away. That's it. That's all they want to do. And they stole this country. They've stolen this country. And look, this country's broken. Like if it was a car and you stole it, you'd dump it in a block. Let's be honest. But it shouldn't be like that. You can fix it. We can fix it. People can fix it. Do I think Hillary could have fixed it completely? No. But I also don't think she would have left it by the side of the road smelling of piss like a fucking homeless guy had stolen it and done whatever the fuck he wanted to do inside of it. If you supported him, that's great. I mean, I don't agree with you. I think you voted for a racist charlatan, and I've talked to you about this via email and things. I'm hoping he fixes your country the way you want it fixed. If he gets in there, I doubt that he will. But if you still support him now after this, if you see, fuck all the piss and the hookers. If you support him after all of the ties to Russia that we've seen, all of them. We grew up, people my age, look, you grew up with Russia as the villain. They were the most terrifying, scary thing in the world. Anybody older than me, your parents duck and covered under fucking desks because they were worried that the Russians would bomb them and murder them. We grew up watching movies like Red Dawn and every other fucking thing, and Rocky 4 or whatever, or Rocky 3, where the Russians were the ultimate villain, and we had to fucking realize that they were always on the way to take us over. They were always going to do something to ruin this country. They hated us. They fucking hated us. Is that propaganda? Absolutely. But still.
Did they do it?
They haven't done it. Well, they've come over and they've done it sneakily. They've done it, and they played the long con. Yes.
Did.
But people are still willing to that's what I'm saying. Think, please think. I don't even know why I'm this guy. It doesn't, like I said, I'm a 50-year-old white guy. All they're going to do is maybe take my insurance away. And then that's it. I mean, unless they're going to make me peel potatoes in a gulag somewhere. I mean, I don't fucking know. But these guys, they have done what they want. Because Putin's ex-KGB, of course they fucking wanted to destabilize this country. Of course they were worried. And look, I've read everything about the fucking Crimean Sea, and he needs a seaport, and they've been trying to get it for thousands of years, and he sees the opportunity. Again, all of this is above my pay grade. All I know is we've got a buffoon who is at the mercy of what was once our greatest enemy, and you guys are backing him. And I'm not scolding, all right? I'm not trying to be that fucking guy. Well, you do that.
Hold people accountable. I don't think you should make fun of the people who bought into it and are now literally looking at their contract for the car they bought and realizing they're going to pay on this car for the next 400 years because they didn't read the fine print. Those people are not the ones I'm mocking. I'm not, but God damn it, you have to stand up and realize this.
That's what I'm saying now. That's what I'm saying now. If you still support him, why? How the fuck? Especially after the people he's named to his cabinet, the Goldman Sachs people he's brought in. Because now I keep hearing people going, oh, well, you know what? That's what the government does. They all do. If Hillary would have done it, we'd have gone under your fucking minds. And look, I don't even want to bring her up anymore. Because now I keep hearing, oh, she's going to be the mayor of New York, or she's got to do these different things. I wish, honestly, she had a press conference and she just went, oh, all right, my fellow Americans. And boom, just flipped 2 middle fingers and went the fuck away and went fishing. Because we don't deserve her. We don't deserve seriousness. We don't deserve it right now. I'm hoping we come to a point where we do. But because again, we're now in this weird untenable position because they're either going to, because it's not like Obama can stay. He can't call some emergency thing and stay in office. Although if he did, it would be hysterical because they've been predicting that forever, that he was going to find a way to get the election suspended and stay in as president for like a third term. That's always one of those weird fucking alt-right or fucking underground memes that you always hear about, that he's working on a way to avoid elections. And so he could be like king for life or any of that bullshit.
About everybody, they don't.
Of course they do. Just like we say this shit about these guys are baby killers or Hitler or whatever the fuck. Everybody's got all their fucking bullshit that they hang on everybody. But the truth of the matter is this man is an unserious person who has now been given the most important job in the world and is showing he is incapable of handling it before he even has it. So they have to take it away. It's like if you gave a child a plastic bag to play with. Although I wish somebody would give Trump a plastic bag to play with. We'd fucking lose him. That'd be fine.
No, he just have somebody pee in it for later.
Good point. I know. And the thing is, I didn't want to talk about this. No. I didn't. I've come here the last 3 weeks and said to Lily, we can't talk about the election. I can't talk about this because people are getting. I'm sure you're fatigued, and I don't blame you. You know what I mean?
Fatigued about it, but Jesus Christ, we have to talk about it because we have to deal with this.
Well, now yes,
we are our government.
Yes. We are being sold out by people, and we need to hold them accountable. And I look, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do that. Everybody's like, get active at the councilman level. I'm just a dumb fuck yelling. All right, I get that, but I'll do anything I can to try to make it better. Anything I can to try to fucking help.
Have you called a senator or a congressman?
I did. Yeah.
I have too.
Because it's too easy to not to do that. It's too easy to do it and too easy to not do it, because you see it all the time and you're like, well, I could fucking let this go, or I could do that. No, don't fucking make the call, even though it feels stupid. You know what I mean? You leave a message or whatever the fuck, and I've gotten one person once. You know what I mean? But you can't let those opportunities pass you by. You have to be verbal. You have to show. Because even what if you're the tipping point? What if you're the 10,000th call of the day and they go, fuck this, we got to do something about this. If you're worried and you think something should be done, do what you can to foment that change. That's it. I mean, and if you're happy with this dude and you think that these are all lies and they're all just kind of out to get him, I mean, I can understand that way of looking at things. But if you take a step back and look at the larger picture and look at the people he surrounded himself with, he's put himself in a position to be questioned because he continues to be with Russian-friendly people and big business people who want to take money away from the poor or the middle class. They want to fucking repeal Obamacare. They want sick people and poor people to die. I know that seems like a weird hyperbole. And when the Republicans said death panels are coming, I made fun of them for it. But the only way you can, that was when they were trying to give people health insurance. The Republicans said that they were bringing death panels. The Republicans are now trying to take health insurance away from people. You're essentially pushing them off a cliff.
Yep.
And these poor people who don't know the difference between Obamacare and the ACA, or these people who were fooled or bamboozled because they heard Obama's name attached to it, and I don't even know what it's like to be an old person. I really don't. I'm old.
Want to bet?
Well, I mean, I'm old, but I'm not that kind of crazy old. I talked to Shannon about it yesterday. When I was like, I'm 50. I don't need this anymore. I don't need to do that. And then there was a beat and she just goes, you're not really 50. And I go, I know, I'm not wearing khakis and mowing a lawn. I get that. And she goes, no. She goes, you're savvy. You're a little smarter. She goes, you play a little younger than that. And I go, I understand that. I get it. Because I have to be for what I fucking do. It wouldn't make sense. And also, I'm a fucking child. But at the same time, like, when you think of a 60-year-old person, the changes that have taken place in their lifetime. Like the go-to joke used to be the blinking clock on the VCR. Well, I go to my mom's house, the fucking clock's still blinking on the VCR. I got to reset it every time I go over there. Well, now if you did that joke, there's a generation of people who would look at you and go, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
What's a VCR? Like, that's how quick things are changing now. And old people are scared to fucking death. They go online, they watch Fox News, and they don't get a lot of internet. Only thing they get is they get emails forwarded to them from people about death panels and about how they're coming for your guns, and they believe it. There were people who literally believed that Hillary killed people. There's like a hit list of 33 people, I think it was. Which is, and again, no coincidence that that's the year Jesus died, right? Huh? Hold on, I'm going to make my own conspiracy theory here. Fuck. So I don't know what it would be like to be old right now and be so scared when you see your country being, it's not taken away, it's just changing. The world is changing, and it's changing so quickly, I can understand where you'd be frightened. But you also have to realize, you know what? I've got kids and I've got generations of people who I love and I'm kind of responsible for, and you think you're saving them from the future, but in reality, you should be accepting the future because I'm sure your kids and their kids have. But I don't know, man. I'm like I said, I'm a 50-year-old white guy. And like I said, I just want to be dead before the water runs out. That's it. Because it's going to. Although not in Trump's hotel room. There'll always be water flowing. I don't give a fuck if he gets out of this. I don't care if he gets sworn in. I don't care if he spends the next 4 years as the president. He will always be the POTUS. He will always be President Piss. Yeah, and from now on, when you say that he's yellow, it'll have a double meaning. Not only is he a fucking coward who couldn't stand up to Russia, but the guy is soaked to the fucking bone in hooker piss. You voted for that guy. Soaked to the bone in hooker piss. Go to Brown Paper Tickets and get tickets for the Monday Night Teas. Available. How was this week's show, Lily?
Really good. There were no hookers or piss involved, but it was very good.
Off week then?
Off week is right. Well, when the president takes over, it'll be mandatory.
I can't wait. Oh my God, I'm in. The Monday Night Teas will be like a Gallagher show. They'll have a splash zone in the front.
Yeah, honestly, though, the Republicans will be trying to shut them all down. I mean, you said, how is it going to change? I won't be doing burlesque. You won't have a podcast. They're changing net neutrality. They're pushing for...
They're trying to.
Yeah. I mean, it just... Yeah. So anyway, Monday Night Teas this Monday is going to be great. We've got female performers. We've got some out-of-towners coming in. Buy a ticket. The early show doesn't suck either.
Oh, it's funny you would mention that. This Monday is January 16th, and I will be at 2020.
What?
That's right.
What?
Tickets are on sale now at brownpapertickets.com. I've done a lot of promotion for this show, so I'm sure you've heard all about it. It's me, and it's very funny, Neil Nanda. Neil Nanda, and he will be joining me, and so will Valerie Tosi, the very funny Valerie Tosi. So me, Neil Nanda, and Valerie Tosi will be this Monday, January 16th of 2020. Shows at 7:30. 3 comics doing 20 minutes each. It's fantastic. And Neil and Valerie are very funny. I'm me. So you know what you're getting with me. You'll get at least 20 minutes of garbage, and then you'll get those two being very funny with professionally written acts. You have a question?
Get there at 6:45 because happy hour ends at 7.
Oh yeah, get there at 6:45. Get a couple in you for cheap, and then you'll be enjoying the show. And then stick around for the whole deal, the whole fucking shebang. There's Monday Night Tees. Buy the tickets at Brown Paper Tickets for the 2020 show as well as the Monday Night Tees show. Come out on Monday, say hi to us. As always, and by the way, I don't know if you know this, for 2020, if you smack me on the ass, you get in free. So how's that work out for you? That'll be fantastic. Just try to find me.
Just try to find me?
Yeah, I'm not getting there till showtime. Fuck that. I'm not going to let anybody. Paul, I've been pretty good this past week. Last time I got there a little late. Yeah, I did.
It happens.
So anyway, so that's great. Tickets are on sale for all those shows. They're fantastic. Remember, the YouTube channel exists. Go check it out. Go watch some stuff. Subscribe. Here's the thing. Subscribe. Even if you don't want to watch shit, it lets me know that it's getting out there and it's being filtered to you. It's literally the easiest thing you can do. And it kind of sends, It raises your level. The more people that are on you, the more you become a recommendation in other feeds. Exactly. And so it sends a message to YouTube, basically, is the point. So, because again, when you download the show, some people get it on iTunes, some people listen to the RSS, some people go Stitcher, some people go all over the place. Well, YouTube is centrally located, and they pay attention to the numbers, I've been told. So just subscribe. You don't have to if you want to watch videos, that would be awesome. Right now, year 1 and some of year 2 is up, and then there's a bunch of other videos. And we're going to have year 3, year 4. All of them are going to be up there ready for you to listen to. But if you subscribe, again, like I said, literally the easiest thing you could do is click the subscribe button and then leave. I don't even fucking care. I do. I want you to listen and hear the old shows, of course, because I get more than $1.84 would be nice. But also you get to hear the old, because I will say this, there are people who've written me who they've heard the first show now, and they're just like, oh, wow. All right. Now I see like why your show has evolved to where it is now. And it's interesting to hear what you were, and then Eric, and all of that stuff. So people hear the first show and they're kind of, because it's only 22 minutes long. I think I just talked about Trump for 20 fucking minutes. So anyway, that's all available right now at the YouTube channel. So it's YouTube 40-Year-Old Boy, and see Mex's new art that's there. And then watch the shows, but also subscribe. That's the important thing, because it lets YouTube know that people are subscribing. I guess if I get to 1,000 subscribers, then there's another level of advertising. It's whatever. And I'm sorry to fucking inside baseball you with this, but we're trying to get me off the goddamn fucking road, which is a nightmare. Hey, on the goddamn fucking road. Well, I want to get on the road to you guys, but off the road here. I want to drive myself to you to be funny, not drive people home after they fucking puked in a fucking noodle cup. All right, so yeah, 2020 tickets available. Brown Paper Tickets. YouTube channel is available now. And there was another, you know what? GetTheButters.com is our great, it's Jerome, who's our man. He's got bath bombs. He's got lubes. He's got all sorts of like loofahs. He's got scrubby dubbies. He's got, you know what? I think, from what I understand, he has plastic piss mats for your hotel rooms in Russia. If you want to go ahead and look there, he has those. He's developed them as we speak. Yes, you have a question? Does he have any hooker piss balms? Hooker piss balm? Ooh, that'd be nice. Yeah, only in the lip balm, though. And not your mouth. Yeah, exactly. I was waiting for you to put it together. Look, if you had a long day pissing on the president-elect of the United States, your pussy lips must be chapped. Go to getthebutters.com and get our hooker piss lip balm and just make your vagina as fresh as the day you were born. It's Trump-tastic. Do that, dude. Jerome, invent it, please, for me. Just invent that. Just so I can just use my copy. If you sell one, it's going to be fucking beautiful. Oh my God, you'll get totally like rolled all over everywhere for that too. Good. Yeah, you'll go viral. Everywhere. You'll go viral. Dude, make hooker lip balm. Yeah, exactly. Totally viral. All right, so Jerome, go to getthebutters.com. He's got the lube. He's got the fucking bath bombs. He's got all sorts of fucking lotions. He's got rubber gloves so you can rub yourself all over the place and pretend it's somebody else. All of this cool stuff is available by him. Go to getthebutters.com. Use the code 40YOB, 40YOB, and get whatever you save. I forget how much it is. But thank you, Jerome, for continuing to sponsor the show. And thank you guys for patronizing Jerome. I'm not sure exactly if it's flying out the door or anything like that, but now this hooker lip balm idea is going to take off. I can guarantee that.
out.
That's going to fucking happen. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and check out the Joe Business page. We got all sorts of cool stuff there. The shows are gradually being put on YouTube, but if you want to buy them and own them for yourself, but eventually they'll be on Patreon. Ignore me. Fucking, I'm shutting up now. Live stuff is there. It's going to be on YouTube eventually, but if you want to buy it and bring it to your house, oh, fuck, don't ignore me. Goddamn, these plugs have gone to hell. But more importantly than all of that, folks, is the Amazon link, of course. The Amazon link is always available. It's available also via the YouTube channel. It's in all the, like the underneath in the little comment section. But if you use our Amazon link, you know what? We get money, they get money, you get stuff. It's perfect. They get money, we get money, you get stuff. It also works that way. You get stuff, we get money, they get money. But look, it works any way you want to say it. That's the way it's going to go. So go ahead, use our Amazon link. You can go to the 40-Year-Old Boy store and buy stuff there, or click through to Amazon Parappa. You can go, actually click through to Amazon Parappa the Rapper and buy yourself a copy of Parappa the Rapper if they have one there, and take that to your house and play that game from 1,000 years ago. But enjoy it, please. Go use our Amazon link. Thank you to the people who have been using it. Gail, thank you so much. Let's talk to our friend Gail for just a second. Gail is a radio woman. That sounds weird. Gail Pitchin, or Peachin? I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Fuck. Pichen. I'll say Gail Pichen, radio woman. It's like Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. But she was on the radio. I met her in fucking a long time ago when I did radio with Pardo. And then she became a listener of Never Not Funny. And then she listened to this show. And she's the fucking coolest. And I did some radio drops for her when she was in Rockford. And now she's in the searching for another gig, a radio gig. If you got a radio gig, contact Gail or contact me and I'll contact Gail. How weird is it to put this out? That makes no sense. I just she popped into my head. But she and I have been corresponding this week, and good for Gail. She used our Amazon link, and many other people have written me and said that they've used our Amazon link. And I want to say this real quick, and as we're talking about listeners, JT, I know you discontinued your support of the show, and I'm sorry. I guess I'll send you your shirt now. I don't know if it was a power move or what. Our friend Lauren also was a longtime donator to the show, and I wanted to thank her for all of her donations. Thank you so much. Everybody who donates to the show is the coolest. Dylans and all the Dylans. I got 10 Dylans. I'll eventually run down a bunch of names. We'll do one of those shows, where we talk about everybody. I want to say this, though. I want to talk about a listener who's our friend Chris Cade. Chris Cade, C-A-D-E. Chris, he's come to a whole bunch of the Podfests. He and I had dinner, I think it was last year during the finals. 2 years ago when the Warriors won the finals. He came out to Southern California, and I think he lives up in the Bay Area. But he would go to Comic-Cons. I talked about him on here once before because he won some auction, and then he came down. That's why he was down, and he and I went to dinner. But he's been a consistent supporter of the show, man. He would show up at all the Podfests, and he'd meet me, and we'd hang out. I've been to dinner with him several times. He came to the San Francisco shows. Really great guy. Chris had a stroke. He had a stroke a while ago, and I did not mention it because I was not sure what was going to happen. But now Chris, he lives in an assisted living facility, and I'm not sure if he's verbal yet. But if you want to find Christopher Cade or Chris Cade on Facebook and send him notes from us, telling him, hey, man, we're thinking of you. Mike talked about you this week. I think his sister is his caretaker now. I mean, I've not spoken to them since the incident happened. We had this happen before with another guy named Steven, and we all, Steven was our guy, and unfortunately we lost Steven. And Maki, of course, who I have to contact. Fuck, I haven't written Maki in forever since I went to her last chemo with her. I missed her during the holidays. I should have talked to her. But these are listeners that we know and we love and we care about. And so Chris Cade is a guy who constantly supported, bought fucking every shirt and went to every show and came out to the live shows. The coolest guy ever. And I've seen now he came up in my feed. He was going out to a movie. They took him to a movie because he was a guy who loved Comic-Con. He loved heroes. He loved comic books. That was his fucking goal, was to go to all of those things. And he would always tie them into coming in to see me as well. Yep. So go to Chris Cade's page on Facebook. I don't know. Just search Christopher Cade, C-A-D-E, or Chris Cade. And look, his sister might fucking kill me because, I don't know if the family's... Well, but the reason I didn't mention it before is I didn't know how private they were about this. Yeah. But now on the Facebook feed, he's going out. He's going to movies and things. And like I said, I don't know if he still listens to podcasts. I'm not sure. Honestly, I haven't spoken to Chris. But hopefully we can all send him a note and just tell him, you know what, you were mentioned on 40-Year-Old Boy, and Mike talked about you, and we love you, and we hope you're fine, and we hope things are okay. And also tell him, please remember that Spider-Man could beat up Superman if it ever came to that. I don't know how he felt about that, but who knows? It's code. Tell him Spider-Man could beat up Superman, And I don't know, maybe it'll be a code that gets him out of his chair. I have no idea. But please write our friend Chris Cade. He's a great fan and a great listener. And our friend Maki. Thank you. I got to contact you, Maki. I'm sorry I'm behind. And and also buy some balm. Send some balm to Chris. Why not? He probably needs it. Go get a bath bomb and some lube for Chris Cade. And just go ahead in his name. We speak his name. We buy balm and we buy lube in his name. Our friend Chris Cade. So please take care of all that and do those cool things for them. And please say hi to Chris and Maki and whomever else you can. And write it in the Joker's page because I think they're also on the Joker's page. If you're not on the Joker's page, go there because I'm going to post a photo today that Lily took last week and was a Snapchat photo that she put a filter on. And it was in the show last week. I went, I don't take a photo. And then I went, that's actually a pretty good photo. I actually like it. So I'll put it up. I haven't posted anything. I also haven't posted People wrote me and they're like, dude, what about that photo of you and your cousins? Like the one that's your favorite photo. I haven't posted that either. I haven't posted anything.
I'm just going to post it in the group right now.
I spent a week in bed. Not really in bed, but just in my apartment, not moving. But that's fine. Now we're all rallying, right? We're out. We're doing a show. We're excited. I include you in my depression. We're all doing that. We're all tackling the day. I will tell you this. I talked to my mom last week. And this is good news. We've talked about Chris, and we had good news about Maki last time I saw her. My mom has undergone her January tests, and she is cancer-free.
Yay!
My mom, who has beaten lung cancer twice and beaten brain cancer once. I should tell you, in early December, they saw a shadow on one of her CAT scans of her brain, which led them into fucking overdrive, and they didn't know what the fuck was going on. So my mom called me, and then, of course, my mom was like, well, now my face feels weird, and I think my head, she can do that pretty good where she can get herself all stirred up. I told her to hang in there. She was getting some steroids too for an infection that she had, so she got the Jerry Lewis treatment, and she got the fucking frog neck. But she came through it okay, and then they finished the test, and it turned out the shadow was just that. It was nothing to worry about at all, and she's totally fine. So she was like, I got to send you your Christmas present. I don't know where you're going to be for Christmas. I go, Ma, you don't have to fucking send me anything. She goes, no, I do. You kids all the time, especially without kids. I got to send you. I go, all right. I told her I'd be home, send the mail. And she calls me and she's like, did you get your check? I said, I did. You truly did not have to send that. That's ridiculous. Or actually, I should say I called her. Bullshit. I called her to say I got the check. And I said, hey, Ma, just call him and say I got my check. She goes, did I tell you what I got for Christmas? And I said, no. And my mom's like, oh, you're not going to believe it. And she goes, I'm so happy. I couldn't believe it. Dan gave it to me. And I go, well, Ma, what'd you get? Pistol grip shotgun.
That's awesome.
I said, what? She goes, yeah, Dan got me a pistol grip shotgun. She goes, it's so great. It reminds me of the sawed-off that I had when you kids were little. When did you have a sawed-off shotgun, Mom? Oh, we had those. You just didn't know about it. Oh, good. I didn't know I had that, Mom. Now, I knew there were weapons in my house, but not like that. So I go, well, Ma, I go, you couldn't even write the check without your hand shaking. How are you going to shoot a fucking pistol grip shotgun? She's like, oh, I don't know. I'm worried about it. Because he got me the Mauser 2 years ago, and that's still here. I'm like, holy, what kind of fucking arsenal do you have? And I talked about when I was there. Remember, I reached into the couch cushion. There was a pistol.
Yeah.
They live in a retirement community. Who the fuck are you defending your house from? Jesus Christ. Alligators?
Yes.
So I said to her, all right, well, I can't believe, she goes, yeah, I'm going to go shoot it. It's illegal here to shoot shotguns, but the guy he bought it from out of the range is like, well, if she wants to come here and shoot it, she can. That's not a problem. So I'm going to go out shooting it. I said, Ma, how? Because my mom this is not a joke. She's 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
And she weighs about 130 pounds after losing a ton of weight. I said, that's going to knock you on your ass. She goes, oh, come on. I know how to shoot a fucking gun. I said, Mom, it's a pistol grip shotgun. And of course, I'm thinking of fucking Die Hard where it's in the one hand and, you just fucking shoot. She's like, no, I know how to do it. She goes, I'll tell you what, though, it scared the hell out of me. I'm pretty worried about it, but I think I can do it. I'm like, all right, great. Send me a photo. She goes, what? I go, send me a photo with your pistol grip shotgun. She goes, oh, all right. Well, yeah, okay. If I can remember, I will. So the other day, I'm at my house. Just my phone. Pick it up. And it's Dan, and it just says, Mom's new toy. And then there's 3 pictures. There's one where they're just fucking holding it. And then there's 2 of her holding it with the target with the fucking buckshot torn all out of the fucking center of the thing after she went shooting.
You have to post that.
So, I got to get my phone. Hold on one sec. So hold on, I'm here because I got to read the text to you. It's fucking hysterical. So.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So she sends the fucking photo, and I laugh and I text back. And where is it? Hold on. Mom's new toy, and I just wrote, "This is the greatest thing ever." And I said, "Ask Mom if I can post this on Facebook." My mom writes me back, "Can you read the bottom?"
What are the consequences?
I go, "Ma, can I post this?" I said, "Ask," because Dan was the one who texted me. Yeah. I said, "Ask Dan if I can put this on Facebook." 5 minutes later, my mom texted me from her phone, "What are the consequences?" So I was driving somebody, and I fucking pulled over, and I called her. I go, "Mom, there's no consequences. It'll be a photo of you with the shotgun." She's like, "Oh, all right. Well, I just don't want there to be any fucking fallout." And I go, "There's no fallout. It'll be hysterical. I'm just going to put it on my fan club page, probably." I go, "I might put it on my regular page, too." And I go, "Which one do you want me to post?" She goes, "Hell, I don't care." I said, "Well, there's 3 photos here. There's one of you just holding the gun, which I like, but the two with the target, you can't see the gun is great. You can't really see it. The one with the gun, she's fucking holding the gun in front of her."
With a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the photo.
And she's just smiling. She's got a smiley face, just holding a fucking pistol grip shotgun. 74-year-old woman who beat cancer twice.
And then we can play caption it.
That's not those are consequences that I don't think she's ready for.
Okay, we can't caption it.
Well, anybody can do whatever the fuck they want.
Captions will be deleted.
I just love the fact that my mom beat cancer 3 times and now is like, you want to show up again, motherfucker? Shotgun. I am ready for you. You want to step in here, you fucking petri dish? She's literally, because she's like, I always handled a shotgun well. When I had the sawed-off and we did the traps and stuff like that, we'd go out shooting all the time. And I'm like, what hillbilly existence did I miss when I was a kid? We never did any of that shit. I never hunted. I never went anywhere. She'd fucking go out and shoot. You want to hook people in, get them halfway through a recipe and cut your fucking show in half. That's it. Do an hour about stew and then bail, get on a plane, and then come back and revisit it 2 days later, because that's the most important stew in the universe. Were there noodles or rice involved? Stay tuned!
We here, we are playing on a level that most will never see.